following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
Flow Racing Studios live.
We tune into Flow and watch pretty much any race we want. This is our Daytona 500, so I wanted to be a race car driver.
The largest crowd in the history of Eldora Speedway. So we're going to have a last lap slider in Gateway.
It's also a shootout. I mean, everybody wants to go out there and win a golden driller.
The significance that this thing has.
Kyle Larson does it again at the Chili Bowl. Destiny fulfilled.
This is the biggest race I've ever won.
The best dirt late model series in America. Down the back straightaway, and O'Neal takes the lead and bounds down.
This is exactly the group you need to put on a big event like this.
The biggest night in pavement late model racing history.
You're watching the greatest sprint car drivers in the world right here on Flow Racing.
Your prizes, we're here at the Port Royal Speedway fan zone right outside the commercial building.
And you are looking live at the Port Royal Speedway for the season opener of the 2026 racing season here at the Speed Palace. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Earl Hoon Jr. Alongside me, Brad Strasser, as we throw the green flag on the first event of the 2026 season. Today is also a history-making day, and it is race number 1 of the J&S Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series presented by HoseHeads.com. The PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series will showcase 37 races at 11 different tracks with the area's best drivers competing for the prestigious series title and their $50,000 share of the $168,250 point fund. Don't miss a minute of the action. It's sure to be one exciting season. Race fans, want to show your posse pride? Be sure to check out the official PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series apparel available tonight over at the Speedway Fan Zone. We'd like to thank Grace and Grit Boutique for everything that will be doing this year for the J&S Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series presented by HoseHeads.com. It's the perfect way to support your favorite series and take a piece of the PA Posse home with you. Make sure you stop by Grace and Grit Boutique. Race fans, get ready for some of the best sprint car racing you'll see anywhere today. You're watching the J&S Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series presented by HoseHeads.com. We have an absolutely strong field of Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars signed in for competition here this afternoon. We have 38 drivers back in the pit area. This is also the season opening event for the Penske Racing Shocks Super Late Models. We have, last count, I believe, 18 drivers signing in for their season opener as well. If you're new here to the Port Royal Speedway, well, we thank you so very much for coming out, and we'd like to thank all of our fans tuning in at home on Flow Racing 24/7. We are also live on Prime here this afternoon, so we'd like to thank all your race fans for tuning in at home and coming out here to the Port Royal Speedway. If you notice that you are sitting in a seat that has a reserve sticker on the backside of that seat and you do not own that seat here in the grandstands, we're going to ask you to please vacate that area and move into a seat that does not have a reserve sticker on the backside of it. Once again, we do have reserve seating in effect for this afternoon's program. So if you notice that you are sitting in a seat that has a reserved sticker on the backside of it and you do not own that seat for the 2026 racing season, we're going to ask you to please vacate that area and move into a seat that does not have a reserved sticker on the backside of it. If you're looking for the family section here in the main grandstands, well, come on down here to Section C. We call that the Keith Kaufman family section. Absolutely no alcoholic beverages are permitted in that area. If you are located in the infield here this afternoon and you are looking for the family section, the smaller portion which is gated off, that is the family section. That is where the kids can go and throw the baseball, throw the football, and have a good time here this afternoon. Don't forget to check out the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand. Kathy Kaufman can get you hooked up with your official Speed Palace merchandise. She has fresh off off the press, brand new t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, you name it, available for purchase down at the Port Royal Speedway novelty stand. Throughout the season, we are going to have another stand set up directly below the main grandstands as well. Normally, that is a racing collectible stand. Unfortunately, Ray could not be here this afternoon, but he told us that he will for sure be here for next weekend's program. We will be honoring a couple of our track champions coming up later on in the program during opening ceremonies. If you were able to get here earlier, we had the 410 Sprint Car champion, Justin Whittle, and the Super Late Model champion, Rick Eckert, handing out some goodies to you race fans. Today's program is brought to you by our great friends at Packers Concessions. They have a couple concession stands set up in the infield and behind the main grandstands. Make sure you check them out. Packers Concessions does so much for the dirt racing scene, not only here in Central PA, but most certainly at the Port Royal Speedway. As you can see, the track is now open for 410 drivers to come out to get heat in the engines. When we are done with that, we are going to bring the 410 drivers directly out for their hot lap sessions, and then the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models will be out for their hot lap sessions, and then we will go directly into this afternoon's opening ceremonies. Also like to invite you to an event coming up here on March 29th. You can head out to the Gridiron Pub, or Gridiron Pizza, on Sunday, the 29th of March, from 12:30 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and be served by some drivers that compete here on a weekly basis at the Speed Palace. All tips collected during that event will be donated to the Port Royal Speedway Kids Night coming up here later on in the year. So don't forget to mark your calendars for March 29th. To go to the Gridiron Pub or Gridiron Pizza. You can catch up with some of our drivers that are going to be specialty bartending for that event. Also like to thank our 2026 Checker Flag sponsors for all of the sprint car divisions, except for the 305s. We'd like to thank Kenworth of PA. Presenting the Checker Flag for the 305 sprints is Ramwood Custom Cabinetry. Also like to thank Lovers Concessions, as they are presenting the Checker Flag this year for the Super Late Models. Also like to thank Watkins Painting for presenting the checkered flag for the Limited Late Models. Maven Building Supply presenting the flag for the 4 cylinders. So we'd like to thank those following sponsors. Brad Strasser alongside me. And Brad, it's finally opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway.
Boy, it's an exciting one. It's been great to see all the fans out in the grounds and the teams that are coming to support what will be an exciting 2026 season. And man, you can't ask for too much more when it comes to weather. It's been, of course, all over the place. That goes without saying. But we were able to get a nice day here for opening day, presented by Packers Concessions here at Port Royal Speedway.
You know, we've been putting it in all of our social media posts throughout the week building up this event. We're going to see a lot of history here this today, and also it's race number 1 of the JNS Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series, brought to you by HoseHeads.com.
Yeah, I mean, it's been asked for, it's been called for by fans and drivers alike. So we have the tracks in central Pennsylvania working together and put together an exciting schedule for 2026. So we're happy, we're honored to be able to open up that series alongside the tracks racing season here in 2026. So many drivers out into support to make their mark and etch their name in the history books for the first time for this landmark series.
So as we kick off the season here today, don't forget we are right back in action next weekend on the 28th. We're going to have the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Car Series back in action. Also, the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models are on the card. We're also going to like to welcome all of the members from the York County Racing Club here next Saturday, March 28th. Then we're going to kick off the month of April on April 4th with the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars, the Pennsylvania Sprint Series 305 Sprint Cars, brought to you by Penns Valley Meat Market. And then also the Limited Late Models will be on the card as well. River Rock Campground and RV sponsoring the limited late models here this year. If you'd like to follow all year long with live timing and scoring, don't forget to download the My Race Pass app. All year, you can follow along with live timing and scoring. Also, that's where we put all of our press releases. You can also check out the media website, PortRoyalSpeedway.com. Also, check us out on Facebook, Port Royal Speedway Trackside Media. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Port Royal Speedway as well. So that is going to conclude drivers getting heat in the engines. Up next, we are going to have our first hot lap session of the year with the Weikert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. So again, we have 38 drivers signing in for 410 competition here this afternoon to go with 18 drivers for super late model competition. We will have 4 heat races for the Weikert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. Drivers drew for their starting spot here for their heat races. Again, this afternoon's program is brought to you by our great friends from Packers Concessions. Don't forget to check them out. They have a concession stand there for you in the infield and also right behind the main grandstands. Also, plenty of other concession stands are here today as well.
Yeah, tons out back. Danny's Barbecue, a great place to go as well. But, yeah, like you mentioned, Packers out there. Love to get pizza. It's going to be warming up. They'll have their ice cream stand out there with us as well. And, yeah, just tons of great food out to eat in the main concourse and enjoy as we get ready for great racing. I want to take a moment and thank some of our ancillary sponsors here at Port Royal Speedway. Of course, want to thank Imes Auctioneering. If you're looking to buy or sell, make sure you call the trusted professionals at Imes Auctioneering. From farm equipment to real estate and everything in between, they bring in experience, integrity, results to every auction. Visit Imes Auctioneering today, where your next great deal is just a bit away.
Don't forget to give your lawn the professional treatment it deserves at Pro Lawn. From mowing and maintenance to complete lawn care solutions, Pro Lawn keeps your property looking sharp all season long. Make sure you call Pro Lawn today and let them do the work while you enjoy the results.
Attention farmers and livestock producers. Staunton Union Stockyard is your trusted partner in livestock marketing. With strong prices, dependable service, and a reputation you can count on, Staunton Union Stockyard gets the job done. Check them out for your next sale.
Harshberger Sub and Malt. When you're hungry for something delicious, head over to Harshberger's Sub and Malt. Famous for their subs, milkshakes, and classic favorites. It's a must-stop spot right here in the Juniata Valley. Harshberger's Sub and Malt, great food, great taste every time.
For power, performance, and reliability on the road, trust Kenworth of Pennsylvania. Whether you're looking for new or used trucks, parts, or expert service, Kenworth of PA keeps you moving mile after mile. Visit them today and experience the difference.
Napa Minium Auto Parts. Need parts? Get the right part right when you need it at Minium Auto Parts. With knowledgeable staff and full inventory to keep you running. Minium Auto Parts is your go-to for quality and service. Stop in today and get back on the road fast.
Fuel up and refresh at Rutter's. Whether it's made-to-order food, fresh coffee, or quick convenience on the go, Rutter's has everything you need 24/7. Rutter's. Why go anywhere else?
Diversified Machine Incorporated. Performance starts with precision, and that's exactly what you get from Diversified Machine Incorporated. Proud makers of DMI and Bulldog rear-end components, they're trusted by racers across the country. When performance matters, choose Diversified Machine Incorporated.
Bring your home and property back to life with Tuscarora Restoration. From fire and water damage to full restoration services, their experienced team is ready when you need them most. Tuscarora Restoration, restoring what matters most.
Also like to thank Do More Incorporated when it comes to durable livestock equipment and quality farm products. Trust Do More Incorporated. Built tough and made to last. Do More products help you get the job done right. Do More Incorporated. Strength you can depend on.
Kish Bank. They've been helping our region thrive for 125 years. Experience the Kish difference at their new office on William Penn Highway or their branch along Route 35. If you're looking for your next ride, make it a victory with Victory Auto. Offering a great selection of quality vehicles and top-notch service, they make car buying easy. Stop by Victory Auto and drive home a winner today. Race fans, after the checkered flag drops, head over to Moose's LZ for great food, cold drinks, and a fun atmosphere. Located in Jonestown, Moose's LZ is the perfect place to relax and refuel. Stop in and see why it's a favorite among race fans and drivers alike.
Brad, speaking of a Diversified Machine Incorporated, they came on board for a contingency award here. So something new here at the Port Royal Speedway. Whoever is the fastest overall driver at the end of hot laps for the Weichert's Livestock 410 sprint cars, they are going to be given the Hot Lap Top Dog presented by Diversified Machine Incorporated award. They will be given a $100 certificate that they can spend at DMI. As you can see, the first hot lap session gets shoved off here at the Port Royal Speedway.
First one out there, he's from East Berlin, PA. He's in the Brewer Home Improvement J Fuels H&H General Excavating Moose Blocks 95H. That's Cody Hartlob. Cody Hartlob in the 95H.
And making their way here off of turn number 4. Was able to pick up a win here last season. He's from Hanover. The Leland's Collectibles, Blazers Body Shop, Wood Brakes, DMI. Car number 27, that's Troy Wagaman. Troy Wagaman in the 27.
Coming up to speed right behind him there. The driver comes out of Mannheim, PA. In the Drohan Brick Shears Welding Case Equipment. Donson Transport number 12. That's Brent Shear. Brent Shear in the 12.
One of the hottest drivers here in Central PA to open up the 2026 racing season. He's from York in the Traco Manufacturing, Mountain Ridge Metals, Glenville Station, Pub and Grub, G&L Capital, Hone Shelt Welding. Car number 23, that's Chase Dietz. Chase Dietz in the 23.
On the middle of the back straightaway out of Jonestown, PA. In the Moose's LZ, Milton Hershey School Heavy Equipment Loaders, CSI Shocks 3Z. That's Brock Zierfoss. Brock Zierfoss in turn 3.
Also out there in this hot lap session, making her way there off of turn number 2 from Sinking Springs in the Glenville Station, Pub and Grub, Carmen Trucking, Lehigh Valley Industrial, Jetco 69X. That's Lady Racer Cassidy Kreitz. Cassidy Kreitz in the 69X.
And off of turn number 2 from Beachville, Ontario, Canada, in the Glen Stiers Racing, Ackland Insurance, LMP Excavation, Wampum Fuels, number 5, that's DJ Christie. DJ Christie in the 5.
And from Grantville in the J&S Classics, Hummel Landscaping, TAB Works, Randy Scheer Plumbing and Heating. Car number 22, that's Doug Hammaker. Doug Hammaker in the 22.
Trailing him from Drums, PA, in the BCI, Harry's You Pull It Auto Parts, Tonnesson Supply, Coast Cards LLC, 18J, that's JT Ferry. JT Ferry in the 18J.
And I believe this is the final car out there for the first hot lap session of the season from Sealands Grove in the Roast Post Fleet Wraps, Victory Auto, B&B Seal Coating, River Valley Builders. Car number 77, it's the Repo Man of Mike Walter Jr. Mike Walter Jr. in the 77 as the green flag comes out for the first hot lap session of the 2026 season, brought to you by Diversified Machine Incorporated. Right now, Brock Zierfoss going underneath the flag stand. He's going to be fourth quick right now for the first hot lap session of the evening. Troy Wagaman right now, he'll be in the top 5 as well. There's Lance DeWeese heading down the back straightaway. Sits second on the all-time win list with 124 career Port Royal victories. Can he catch up to the man from Mifflintown, as Keith Kaufman is on top of the wins list with 129. So that is going to conclude the first hot lap session of the first race of the year. Right now, looks like Chase Dietz is going to be fastest overall with a 16.151, 16.151 at an average speed of 119.6 miles an hour.
Mike Walter Jr. second quick with a 16.357. Cody Hartlob third with a 16.410. Brock Zierfoss fourth with a 16.451. And Troy Wagaman Jr., your top five, with a 16.491.
So right now, Chase Dietz is in the hunt for the Hot Lap Top Dog Award, brought to you by Diversify Machine Incorporated. Something new here at the Port Royal Speedway. Again, whoever is the fastest driver overall at the conclusion of Hot Laps will take home a $100 gift certificate courtesy of DMI.
As cars continue to stage here on the front straightaway for hot lap session number 2 to make its way out. First car on the front straightaway to get the shove. He comes from Gettysburg, PA. He's in the Weikert's Livestock RV four-wheel drive, Heiser Motorsports, Speedway, Subaru, and Volkswagen. Car number 48, that's Double D, Danny Dietrich. Danny Dietrich in the 48.
And behind Dietrich, about to go into turn number 1 from New Oxford in the KR Perry Trucking, BDI the Auction Guy, Major League Sports Bar, Big Daddy's Grill and Chill. Car number 33, that's Gerard McIntyre Jr. Gerard McIntyre Jr. in the 33.
Right in front of him, he's from Southampton, New Jersey, in the Cronenberger Fine Jewelry, Turret Engineering, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group. Car number 67, it's the track champion of Justin Whittall. Justin Whittall in the 67.
Also out there in this hot lap session, going into turn number 3 from Aspers and the Snellbecker Electric Drop of Ink Tattoo, Magoo's Motorcycles. 8D, that's going to be Billy Dietrich. Billy Dietrich in the 8D.
And on the front straightaway now, out of Harrisonville, PA, in the Mac McGee Motorsports, Sainer Brothers, John Ott Racing, Coleman Farms, 55. That's the pilot of Logan Wagner. Logan Wagner in the 55.
Also out there from right here in Port Royal, in the DNL George & Sons, Beavers Auto Body, Dawson Performance, West End Automotive, car number 27S, that's the mayor, Dylan Cisney. Dylan Cisney in the 27S.
And on the back straightaway out of Mays Landing, New Jersey, in the Janney Electric, Banff Off-Road Lighting, Danny's Pizza Pizzazz, ABS Electrical 35. That's Buddy Schweibens. Buddy Schweibens in the 35.
Also out there from Newtown in the 410 Enterprises, Fire and Safety Services, DHS Enterprises, IGA of Middleburg, car number 11T. That's Mikey Thompson. Mikey Thompson in the 11T. So for everyone tuning in at home on Flow 24/7 and Amazon Prime, this is the second hot lap session here at the Port Royal Speedway as we kick off the 2026 racing season. You see Chase Dietz still on top of the board right now. JJ Lawson, a 39, able to break into the top 5. As the track is absolutely in perfect shape. The track crew was obviously up here all week long. They had to contend with Mother Nature because around, 5 o'clock in the evening, Brad, Mother Nature had something to say. She put down a lot of water here in the Juniata Valley.
Yeah, it was a good steady rain yesterday afternoon, evening time that spanned off and on over a couple of hours, but track crew was hard at work, and they're able to get it in tip-top shape as checkered flag is out here on hot lap session number 2.
So these drivers are going to make that hard left-hand turn to go into the infield and exit the speedway. Right now, Chase Steets is still the fastest driver overall. Michael Walters still second quick. Looks like J.J. Loss is third quick at a 16.359. Danny Dietrich fourth quick with a 16.403. And Cody Hartlob in the 95H rounds out the top 5 with a 16.410.
Rounding out the top 10 on your Rays Landscaping scoreboard, you have Brock Zierfoss 6th, Troy Wagaman 7th, Logan Wagner in 8th, Brent Shear in 9th, and Justin Woodall, your top 10.
Like to thank Rays Landscaping for coming on board for the 2026 season, as they are our new presenting sponsor for the scoreboard. They're right there in the infield going on the end of the back straightaway. So we'd like to welcome Rays Landscaping here to the Port Royal Speedway as the third flight of hot laps about to make their way out onto the speedway. Brad, opening day is special for so many reasons, right? Because it seems like we really don't have an off season anymore. When we're done with the outdoor season, just like that, the indoor season kicks off here in the great US of A. But another special thing that I love absolutely about opening day is all the new paint schemes that you get to see here as well.
Yeah, it's very exciting, very fun to see all these drivers out in all different looks. And one of those drivers back in his 11A, heading into turn number 1. He comes from Elverson, PA, in the Moose Meadows, Ames Construction, Tensor Aviation 11A. That's Austin Bishop. Austin Bishop in the 11A.
Also out there in his hot lap session from Allentown in the Boulevard Truck Repair, Schneider & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap, All Shucks Roasted Corn, car number 39D. That's Briggs Danner. Briggs Danner in the 39D.
Coming out of turn number 2 from Enola, Pennsylvania, in the Bruner Service Center, RV four-wheel drive, Bruce's Speed Shop, Chet's Trunks, 47K. That's Cody Lehman. Cody Lehman in the 47K.
Also out there from Beavertown in the Throttle Works, Salem RV, Hair Express, I'm Good Tree Service, 5K. That's Jake Karklin. Jake Karklin in the 5K.
And from Fawn Grove in the Flux Racing, Reading Auction Service, LTP Rentals, Stevie car number 10. That's Matt Campbell. Matt Campbell in the 10.
Also making his way down the back straightaway, was able to pick up a win last Sunday down at the Baps Motor Speedway. He's from Dillsburg in the JNS Classics, M&M Painting and Construction, DMS Trash, York Excavating, 39M. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Concrete King, Anthony Macri. Anthony Macri in the 39M.
Trailing him, the driver comes from Liverpool, PA, in the Mountain View Travel, High Tech Metals, Village Square Plaza, C&B Chubby. Car number 11, that's TJ Stutz. TJ Stutz in the 11.
And from Sunbury, in the Keene Real Estate, Mach 1 Chassis, 4-Leaf Clover Farms, Keene Parts. Car number 17, that's Mark Smith. Mark Smith in the 17.
Then from Fayetteville, PA, in the Low Bar Design, Low Bar Incorporated, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, E.H. Gockenauer and Sons. Car number 8, that is Lance DeWeese. Lance DeWeese in the 8.
So that are going to be all the cars making up the third hot lap session of the afternoon. They're all chasing down Chase Dietz right now at a 16.187. People are used to seeing that driver right there running with United States Auto Club without a wing. Well, this year he's going to do a little more competitiveness here in Central Pay with a wing on it. That's going to be the 39 of Briggs Danner.
Yeah, he's been a standout. He's had a lot of exciting races with USAC back in 2025. We'll see what he can do with the wing on top here today.
Cody Lehman, good to have him back full-time with us here this season, driver of the 47K. Right there, you have the 5K of Jake Karklin coming into your screen as the checker flag is out on the third hot lap session of the afternoon.
So no change inside the top 10, but fastest in that group. It's the 39M of Anthony Macri. He timed in with a 17.005, putting him 15th on the board right now. So that keeps Chase Dietz on top with that 16.187 for that Hot Lap Top Dog Award presented by DMI. Attention in the grounds and on the stands, there is a white Toyota Camry, license plate number LTV0536. Again, a white Toyota Camry, PA plate LTV0536. You got your four-ways on. You're parked outside of turn number 1.
Also, if you drove a maroon golf cart that you parked in suite number 2, that is reserved suite parking number 2, you need to move it, please. Once again, if you drove a maroon golf cart and accidentally parked it in reserve spot suite number 2, you need to move it at this time, please.
Final session of hot laps for the Weicker Livestock 410 sprint cars making their way out on to the track now. Coming out of turn number 2, the driver comes from Carlisle, PA, in the Horsecraft Millwork, Smoking Gun Fabrication, Richie's Wings, Snooks Performance 35. That's Jason Schultz. Jason Schultz in turn 3.
And from Salfordville, in the Trans-East Equipment Pioneer Pole Buildings, Ken's Tire, Specialty Wrecking, car number 51, that's Freddie Raymer. Freddie Raymer in the 51.
Trailing him from Lewes, Delaware, in the Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches, Betts Garage, Easy Go Golf Carts, Magoo's Motorcycles, car number 91. That's Preston Latimus. Preston Latimus in the 91.
And from Sinking Springs and the Viper Risk Management, AutoFix LLC, thanks John and Bon, the Aussie Sprinkler, car number 22E, that's Nash Ely. Nash Ely in the 22E.
And out of Wells Tannery, Pennsylvania, in the R&R Motorsports, Mac McGee Motorsports, Thompsontown, Cornerstone Deli and Restaurant, 95, that's Garrett Bard. Garrett Bard in the 95.
Also out there in the Bloss Plumbing, Carmen Industrial Services, Posse Land 55M, that's Dominic Malaire. Dominic Malaire in the 55M.
And from Kunkletown, PA, in the Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Jetco, Carmen Trucking, Lehigh Valley Wind Industrial, 69X, that's Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith in the 69K, 69K of Ryan Smith.
And just getting the green flag coming up the speed in turns number 1 and 2 from Birdsboro. And the McSherry's Town Moose, Stevie Car Motorsports, Livingston Lawn Care, straight out of Bear Hill, car number X. That is Aaron Bollinger. Aaron Bollinger in the X.
So cars coming up to speed now here. Unfortunate for Jason Schultz as he will head to the pit area early as they just get the green flag here. Still Chase Dietz the time to beat with the 16.187.
Right now, Aaron Bollinger is going to break into the top 10 with a 16.624. Freddie Raymer right behind him in 11th with a 16.710. Preston Latimus, he's 23rd quick. Nash Ely going 21st quick. Dominic Malaire, he's up to 18th quick. As this will conclude hot laps for the first time of the new year for the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Car Series, and we will confirm with live timing and scoring. But Brad, I think it would be official that our very first hot lap top dog winner is going to be Chase Dietz. He is going to get a $100 gift certificate courtesy of Diversified Machine Incorporated.
So with that, we'll send it over to Doug Malott to get a quick word with our new sponsor, Ray's Landscaping. Doug, we'll send it to you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brad. Can you hear me over there?
Oh, we got you.
All right. Hey, I'm here with Corey and Kylie. They're the owners of Ray's Landscaping up there in Lewistown and Garden Center. He wants to make sure we put that out there. So, hey, Corey, we really thank you for coming on sponsorship here this year. Give us a little rundown of your company quickly, and then what brought you here into the racing market at Port Royal Speedway.
Basically, we are a garden center, do a lot of landscaping, mowing, anything from hardscapes from Mifflin, Juniata counties. And Juniata County has been very great to us here historically over the last few years. And we just love racing. We got on with Anthony Macri and the 39M crew, which is on fire all the time. So we just love racing, and we decided we're going to give back to the community and come down and have some good, wholesome fun here and hopefully see some great racing here.
All right. So, hey, as these late models get ready to come on, one last thing. Anything you want to say, any shout-outs to any certain people that helped get you where you were? Because we know the general public in Lewistown where you started, but as you said, all the surrounding communities here to be able to make Ray's Landscaping what it is. You want to give any shout-outs before we pass it over?
All the employees, that's all I can say. They are the ones that make it happen day in, day out. Without them, this, Ray's Landscaping wouldn't happen. And all the great people in our surrounding communities here. I mean, they all come together week in and week out for great fun right here.
All right. Well, hey, Brad, we thank Ray's Landscaping for coming on this year. They are our new scoreboard sponsor. They are in for a 3-year contract as well. They're not going anywhere. So we thank Corey and Kylie and the whole family there at Ray's Landscaping. Back to you, Brad.
Thanks, Doug, as hot lap session number 1 is underway here for the Penske Racing Shocks Super Late Models. As they come up to speed, you see Gary Stuhler coming out of Greencastle, PA, the Langenfelder Mechanical Contractors, Anthony's Pizza, SKS, Ernie D's Enterprises, St. Mary's Roofing number 4. That's Gary Stuhler.
And right now behind Stuhler from Hampstead, Maryland in the Sharp Farms, WSL Sporting Goods, Fryco, Bosley Towing 21, that's Chad Myers. Chad Myers in the 21 as the caution flag is going to come out. We had a car facing the wrong direction there in turn number 4.
That was the C33 of Chris Kasner, who lost the handle there in turns 3 and 4. So as we'll keep bringing you some of these cars as they come around on the front straightaway. The driver from Indiana, Pennsylvania, in the Greg Satterley Motorsports Kaiser Manufacturing All About Wraps Classic Inc. 22. That is Greg Satterley. Greg Satterley in the 22.
And going underneath the flag stand here from Winchester, Virginia, and then McFarland's Custom Painting and Wall Coverings, Fox Factory, Martin's Plumbing Service, North River Farms 27. That is Trevor Feathers. Trevor Feathers in the 27.
Trailing him in the York PV Trust Leather Lumber Company, Fryco, Coleman Farms 121. That's Tristan Nieder. Tristan Nieder in the 121.
And going underneath the new Ray's Landscaping scoreboard from Middleburg and the Creekside Auto Sales, Stein Trucking, the Rich Trans, Windview Truck and Trailer Series 0. That is Andrew Yoder. Andrew Yoder in the 0. Cody Leiter is also out there. He's from Lewistown in the Amsoils, Asher's Chocolate, Prosser Power Group, Crawlworks 25K. As right now you see Greg Satterley. He will go to the top of the board with an 18.691 as the checkered flag is out. So Satterley right now will set the pace for the first hot lap session of the year for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models at an 18.691, 18.691. Trevor Feathers second quick at a 19.339. Gary Stuhler third quick at 19.686. Andrew Yoder fourth quick at a 19.876. And rounding out the top 5 is going to be Cody Leiter with a 20.138. So when we are done with hot laps here this afternoon, we will head down to Kish Bank Victory Lane to honor 2 of our champions here coming up. Speaking of champions, he is making his way there off of turn number 2. He was last year's track champion in Penske Racing Shock Super Late Model competition. From York and the McSherry's Town Moose, M&M Painting and Construction, Suburban Bolorama, Stevens Crane Service. Car number 24, that's Rick Eckert. Rick Eckert in the 24.
Trailing him from Mapleton Depot, PA, in the Barron's Race Engines, Wagner's Excavating, Tin Man Body Shop, Penske by JDS, D19, that's Dylan Stake. Dylan Stake in the D19.
And from Clear Springs, Maryland, in the Red Wing Shoes, GDC, Noel's Fire Protection, Chaz's Used Auto Parts, 2J. That's Justin Weaver. Justin Weaver in the 2J.
Yeah. And then Lane Snook's out there. I swear I added him, but I must have added him on the before. And coming off of turn number 4, this driver dominant in limited late model competition last year. He's looking to run super late models in 2026. He comes from right here in Port Royal in the Feathers and Fur, Grassmeyer Auctioneering, MHT Transport, Steininger Brothers Excavating. Number 23, that's Lane Snook. Lane Snook in the 23.
Getting up to speed on the back straightaway from Dover and the Superior Homes, LeBaron's Auto Salvage, 382 Auto Sales. New Industrial Services, car number 1 is Gene Knobb. Gene Knobb in the 1 as he is off the pace here on the front stretch. The caution flag is going to wave.
Yeah, just saw a bobble there out of Knobb coming off of turn number 4, and down went the power, and out came the caution lights. So that'll slow us to a stop here. Greg Satterlee, of course, still on top with that 18.691 through Penske Racing Shock's hot laps so far here for the super late models.
Also a couple other drivers that are out there from Beavertown in the Middlesworth Potato Chips, Northeast RV, Selinsgrove Ford, Kramer Funeral Home, car number 9, that's Hayes Mattern. Hayes Mattern in the 9.
Out there from Lewistown, PA, in the Schmidt's Garage, Lost Creek Tree Service, Rocket Chassis, Penske Racing Shocks 211. That is Jason Schmidt. Jason Schmidt in the 211.
And from Selinsgrove and the Nittany Tractor, Strauss Electric, GNR Excavating and Demolition, Gibb Robinson Septic Service, car number 24, that's Yoder Nation, Dylan Yoder. Dylan Yoder in the 24.
And out there from Laurel, Maryland, in the Deese Trucking, all about doors, Davini Race Engines, Kaiser Manufacturing, 05, that's Roy Deese Jr. Roy Deese Jr. in the 05.
So we're going to get Gene Knobb, assistance there off the back straightaway, and the caution lights will go out, and we will wind them up and turn them loose one more time, as this is the final hot lap session of the afternoon before we head down to Kishbank Victory Lane for this afternoon's opening ceremonies. There you see the 24 of Dylan Yoder coming up the speed. He was the 2024 track champion. He has 3 track titles under his belt in Port Royal Speedway competition. Rick Eckert, obviously, he needs no introduction, was last year's track champion. Hayes Mattern, you see him second quick right now in car number 9. Dylan Yoder, he's in the top 5. Fourth quick, Justin Weaver right there in third. Jason Schmidt right now in 5th, as drivers will see the checker flag this time by.
So checkered flag is out. That wraps up hot laps for the Penske Racing Shocks super late models. Hayes Mattern was fastest in that group, second overall, a 19.026. So that keeps Greg Satterlee up on top with an 18.691. So your top 10 was Greg Satterlee and Hayes Mattern in the top 2. Then you had Justin Weaver third with 19.131. Dylan Yoder fourth with 19.142. Jason Schmidt fifth, 19.271. Lane Snook in 6th, 19.319. Trevor Feathers 7th, 19.339. Rick Eckert 8th, 19.356. Dylan Stake 9th, 19.493. And 10th was Gary Stuhler with a 19.686. So for those of you tuning in at home on FloRacing, as we get ready for opening ceremonies, we are going to take a quick break and be back right after this.
We need Seth Kosier, Steve O'Neill to Kishbank Victory Lane. Seth Kosier and Steve O'Neill to Kishbank Victory Lane, please. Seth Kosier to Victory Lane, please. Seth Kosier to Victory Lane. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you here to the Port Royal Speedway as we drop the green flag for the first time for the 2026 racing season. But before we do that, we got to honor some of our champions here this afternoon. First off, we will start with the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. Last year, this driver was able to get 7 top 10s, 7 top 5s, and 1 incredible win last year. This, I got a feeling, is his first track title, and it's going to be many. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your 2025 Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Car Port Royal Speedway track champion, Justin Whitall. This is number 1. I got a feeling it's going to be a lot coming up with you. You love coming up here to the Port Royal Speedway on a weekly basis. But tell me, how does it feel as we finally crown you a champion here at the Speed Palace?
It's like a sigh of relief, kind of like a monkey off the back, but it's been a long time coming. My guys really deserve it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got a big crew back there. Obviously, it's a family affair as well. Your family's in attendance. Tell me, are you going to be back here this year again on a full-time basis to defend your track title?
Unsure yet.
All right, unsure. We got you. But still, how's the car feel coming into this afternoon's program?
Good. Got to work on it a little bit. It's a different car than we finished off last year with, so got to look back at some notes and just tweak on it.
What about some of the great partners you have there on the side of that 67?
I'd like to thank Mid-Atlantic Transportation, Turret Engineering, RBH Group, Milky Way Restaurant, Pioneer Auto Body, Mom, and of course my dad.
No doubt about it, buddy. Congratulations on being last year's track champion.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your 2025 Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Car Series track champion, Justin Whitall. We're going to bring President of the Juniata County Ag Society, Seth Kozier, in for presentations, along with lead promoter here at the Port Royal Speedway, Steve O'Neill. Also like to thank False Jewelers for once again making the championship watches that all of our track champions will be getting this year once again. Also like to thank Anks Trophies for building the beautiful custom-made trophy as well. Hoosier Racing Tire, one of the presenting sponsors here for the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars at the Port Royal Speedway, giving Justin a championship jacket as well. So we'll go right into our track champion for the Penske Racing Shocks Super Late Models. Last year, this driver was able to finish in the top 10 twice, had 4 top 5 finishes, and he was a 2-time winner. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Penske Racing Shack Super Late Models track champion, Rick Eckert. Rick, another track title, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, never gets old.
How about it? I mean, let's talk about today. Today's different. Obviously, we kick off the season. How you feeling coming in today's competition?
Well, I felt good till we hot lapped, and then I didn't feel that good. My times weren't very good. We'll work on it and get better. Yeah, but the racetrack's cool. It's really good for all the rain and stuff we've had. The racetrack's in nice shape, so it's going to be a heck of a day race for sure.
You know, these track titles aren't easy by any means, right? Especially here at the Port Royal Speedway with all the tough competitors we have here on a weekly basis in super late model competition.
Yeah, there's probably 10 guys could win this championship any year here. The guys are really tough, local guys here, and so we're just proud to get it again.
How about some of the great sponsors you have on the side of that 24?
I got Suburban Bolorama, M&M Paintings, Alley Oops, Stevens Crane Service, and McSherrystown Moose. They probably got the race on today.
Well, that's awesome. Congratulations on a track title.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a big round of applause for Scrub Rick Eckert being the track champion for last year's super late model competition, brought to you by Penske Racing Shocks. He will once again be presented with a Hoosier Racing Tire jacket, a custom-made watch from False Jewelers, and a trophy from Anks Trophies. And on behalf of the Juniata County Ag Society, the Port Royal Speedway promotional team, and everyone else involved here at the Speed Palace, we thank you for coming out here for the season opener. At this time, we will go into this afternoon's opening ceremonies. So if you can, please rise. Gentlemen, remove cover. As presenting this afternoon's invocation, here is track chaplain Doug Malott.
All right, thanks, Earl. So fans, before we get started here tonight, or today, I guess, I want to bring Steve O'Neill over. Steve, come on over if you would. So last year we ended on the note that I was out here and we were praying for Steve. Steve had some health complications there. I'll let him explain if he so desires. But it is great to be able to have our promoter, our lead promoter, our track, Speedway, whatever it is, promoter back here today at the Port Royal Speedway.
Hey. I just want to say thanks for everybody that reached out to me, and especially for all the prayers that came in, because those prayers is what got me back here today. So I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to having another great season with all you folks coming. So thank you.
Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. So we are grateful that Steve is back with us, back in health. So thank you, Steve. All right, so hey, brothers and sisters, let's bow for a moment of prayer if we shall. In Isaiah 43:1, it says, "For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it?" Fans, we come tonight and we come into a new season of racing here at the Port Royal Speedway. We are grateful for everybody that is here, and the fans that are in the stands, the fans that are on Flow watching here this evening. We're grateful for the track crew, all that put this race together here tonight, the safety men and women that are around here to keep us safe. And Lord, we thank you as you come forth here tonight in this beautiful sunshine that you've provided here at the Port Royal Speedway. Keep the drivers safe and let us get ready for a hot night of action here at the Port Royal Speedway. So fans, as we always do, we come together now to be able to say together, and all of God's race fans said, amen.
Please remain standing as singing the national anthem. Here is Mr. Lou Lloyd.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Lou. And I just have one question for you race fans. Are you ready? Oh, come on, you can get louder than that. This is the first race of the 2026 racing season. I'm going to ask you again and give me everything you got. Port Royal Speedway, are you ready? Brad Strasser, it is go time here at the Speed Palace.
Thank you, Earl, as we are going to get ready to roll into Weicker Livestock 410 Sprint Car Heat Races. The first heat race is brought to you by Ickesburg Beverage, which is located in sunny Perry County. It's always sunny on race day at Port Royal Speedway, and Ickesburg Beverage loves race fans and thanks them for their business. Stop by Ickesburg Beverage on your next trip to the track. Heat race number 1, as they stage down here on the front straightaway, will line up like this. Starting inside of row number 1, he comes from East Berlin, PA, in the Brewer Home Improvements, J Fuels, H&H General Excavating, Moose Blocks, 95H, it's Cody Hartlob. And to his outside from Selinsgrove, PA, in the Roast Post, Fleet Reps, Victory Auto, B&B Seal Coating, River Valley Builder, 77, it's Mike Walter Jr. Rolling off in third out of Beachville, Ontario, in the Glenn Stires Racing, Ackland Insurance, LMP Excavation, Wampum Fuels, number 5 is DJ Christie. And to his outside from Drums, PA, in the BCI, Harry's U-Pull-It Auto Parts, Tennescent Supply, Coast Cards LLC, 18J is JT Ferry. Fifth starter, he comes from Grantville, PA. In the JNS Classics, Hummel Landscaping, Tabworks, Randy Share Plumbing and Heating 22 is Doug Hammaker. It is outside from York, PA, in the Traco Manufacturing, Mountain Ridge Metals, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, GNL Capital, Hochschild Welding, number 23 is Chase Dietz. Inside of row number 4 from Jonestown, PA, in the Moose's LZ, Milton Hershey School, Heavy Equipment Loader, CSI Shocks 3Z is Brock Zierfoss. An 8th starter out of Mannheim, PA, in the Drohan Brick Shears Welding Case Equipment, Donson Transport number 12 is Brent Shear. Final row to the inside. Driver comes from Sinking Spring, PA, in the Glenville Station Pub and Grub. Carmen Trucking, Lehigh Valley Industrial Jetco 69X is Cassidy Kreitz. And 10th and final starter in heat race number 1. He comes out of Hanover, PA, in the Leland's Collectibles, Blazers Body Shop, Willwood Brakes, DMI number 27. It's Troy Wagaman Jr. Those are your 10 starters slated to go to the post in heat race number 1. 10 laps will be the distance. 5 move into the A main event. So the drivers have been given the command to line up behind the John H. Schaefer Dodge Pace truck, coming through turns 1 and 2 now. And 10 laps will be the distance. 5 go into this afternoon's A main event. Pace truck off the back straightaway. Cody Hartlob, Mike Walter Jr., your front row, as we are ready to set off for the first heat race here at Port Royal Speedway in 2026. They hit the Packers concessions chalk line, and the green is out.
Great side-by-side start. It's Cody Hartlob. He will jump out to the early lead. Hard flip in turn 2. That's going to be, looks like JT Ferry taking a rough run there in turn number 2. The red flag is out. So safety officials getting to the accident scene very quickly, as JT Ferry taking a hard ride there in the 18J in turn number 2. So we are getting word over the Port Royal Speedway radio system that JT Ferry is okay there in turn number 2.
What was a scary ride for the 18J of Ferry. Him and Chase Dietz got tangled up there a bit in turns 1 and 2, and it pitched him around as you watch the replay here on FloRacing. There's the initial start. Keep your eye on these blue and white cars through turns 1 and 2 as Dietz comes up just a little bit. They run into each other, ran out of space, and of course, Ferry spirals up the track and hard contact there with the turn 2 wall. So safety officials, they've got JT Ferry's car removed. They're, of course, going to have to go to work up there in turn number 2 for the hole punched into the wall. So as they continue to work and quickly remedy that situation, going through the schedule of events, if you got one of our handout schedules, just wanted to make note of a mistake in the printout schedule. For York County Racing Club night, it shows that is taking place next Saturday. That is a misprint. We apologize for the confusion on that. York County Racing Club night is scheduled here at Port Royal Speedway to take place on Saturday, June 13th, which is a night that features the Waker Livestock 410 sprint cars and the River Rock Campground Limited late models and the Penns Valley Meat Market PA Sprint Series 305 sprint cars. Again, that's on June 13th when York County Racing Club night will take place, not as printed on our paper schedules for next Saturday. So again, York County Racing Club night, not next week, will take place on June 13th.
So a very unfortunate start to the season for JT Ferry. Remember, Brad, last year he took a tumble to where he had a hand injury as well, and pretty much that was mid-season, I believe, last year, and JT Ferry had a broken hand that pretty much sidelined him for the entire 2025 racing season at the midway point last year. So a tough start to the season for him.
Yeah, an unfortunate way for 2026 to get rolling. Just going through the first set of corners there. We'll be interested to see for Chase Dietz in the 23. Of course, he's still rolling, but it wasn't light contact between the two of them. Of course, Ferry got the worst of it, but see if Dietz's ride holds up okay, if it was just a bump and bruise for him, and if he'll be able to keep rolling at speed as his liking. He's had a hot 2026 start, so he's going to want to continue that momentum here today.
So remember, top 5 finishers out of these heat race move directly into today's main event. Top 3 finishers will go into a redraw coming up later on this afternoon. So officials communicating over the receiver one-way radio system to the drivers to let them know what the new restart order is going to be. So you can see the 22 of Doug Hammaker will now start outside row number 2. So the John Schaefer Dodge Pace truck will duck into the infield once again. We'd like to thank our presenting sponsor for this afternoon's program, Packers Concessions, as they are also the presenting sponsor of the chalk line there in turn number 4. And that's exactly where we are going to throw the green flag, see if everyone can make it through turns 1 and 2. Once again, Cody Hartlop will jump out to the early lead as Walter in the 77 took a look down low as he will make his way down the backstretch. Keep your eye on the 23 of Chase Dietz.
Yeah, Dietz got a good run off of 2. He's got Christie to his inside, but Dietz looking to find some speed up top as we've got a car around off of turn number 4. It's the 12 of Brent Shear.
So Brent Shear is going to bring out the caution flag.
So Shear spinning on his own there in turn 4, back in that ride on a more full-time basis here in 2026. So he'll just need the assistance of a shove there in turn 4.
Best finish for Shear last year was on Labor Day, which was a 15th place finish. So no damage as he will get the assistance by the push truck and he will join tail end of this field. It's still Cody Hartlob at the point. Michael Walter restarting second. Chase Dietz in that third spot. DJ Christie restarting fourth. And Doug Hammaker restarting fifth.
Brock Zierfoss, Cassidy Kreitz, Troy Wogman, Brent Shear. Your lineup here for heat race number 1. We did get that lap in the book, so 1 down, 9 remain.
Right now, the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss, he's going to be restarting 6th in this one. Good to have him back on a full-time basis with us this year. He was last year's winner on Labor Day, so you have to think with an afternoon surface like we have there for Labor Day, an afternoon surface here today, Brock Zierfoss should be quick here this afternoon.
Yeah, he had a couple of good finishes last year, and if you remember that Labor Day race, he picked up that win late in the final couple of laps to get into Kishbank victory lane. But like you said, the daylight racing service played into his hands there last year. We'll see if that plays a factor with the sun shining down here on the Speed Palace today.
So the lineup is good. Caution lights are out. We're going to come back to the green on the cone on the front straightaway. Drivers cannot pass before the cone, cannot hit the cone, and most certainly cannot go below the cone, or they will be penalized 2 positions at whatever flag comes out next, regardless if that is a caution flag or the checkered flag. So Hartlob is going to get back on the throttle right now. Here we go. We're underway.
Hartlob leads us into turn 1. Mike Walter looks down underneath him. Doors closed. That's going to give Dietz the opportunity to go inside.
So look at the 27, Troy Wogman. He'll go 2 for 1 down the back straightaway, and he'll move up into that 5th final transfer spot. A little contact there between the 22 of Hammaker and the 3Z of Zierfoss off of turn number 4.
Impressive driving from Hammaker to keep that thing straight, and we're still green. Chase Dietz, he's starting to reel in the 95 of Cody Hartlob for that race lead.
Chase Dietz has found something right through the middle side of the racetrack, and he is going to be your new leader with 7 laps to go. Chase Dietz, one of the hottest drivers so far here in 410 competition in the 2026 races season, is your leader right now.
Brock Zierfoss now looking to the outside of the 5 of DJ Christie, fighting for that 5th and final transfer spot. He'll take it off him from turn number 4. Move Brock Zierfoss into tonight's 8 main.
Going to try to bring Brent Shear with him. Shear will duck down low to try to drive underneath DJ Christie for that 6th spot. This time by, halfway sign is out on the first heat race of the year. 5 laps in and 5 to go. Chase Dietz has increased his lead to 2.6 seconds.
Chase Dietz, we've been talking about how good his 2026 got off to a start with. He is in a class of his own right now in this heat race. The only driver has been turning laps in the 16-second bracket. Goes a 17 flat there, but still 7/10 of a second faster than Hartlob.
Cody Hartlob still looks good in the 95H as he runs in that 2nd position. Right behind him, you still have the 77 of Michael Walter. Troy Wogman Jr., 27, still runs in 4th. And right now, a driver that sits in that 5th and final transfer is the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss. But you look at the eye test here, Brad, and Zierfoss is starting to close in on Wagaman.
Yes, he is. He was running about 0.3 of a second faster than that of Wagaman that last time around. We're going to have 2 laps to go, this time by Dietz. Just took the signal. Can Zierfoss reel in the Hefner 27?
A mile to race. Dietz can already start to see the tail end of this field as the white flag is out. Final time around. He has over a straightaway lead in the John Stamen-owned 23 as he will head underneath the Rays Landscaping billboard for the final time.
Hit the cruise control button, take your foot off the gas, and coast it from here. Chase Dietz, he's going to pick up heat race number 1. Large margin of victory for Dietz there. In second will be the 95, Cody Hartlob. Third, Mike Walter. Fourth, Troy Wagaman. In that fifth and final transfer to the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss.
So we will get the rest of the cars underneath the checker flag, and that is going to wrap up the first heat race of the year. So Chase Dietz will be the winner in 23. Cody Hartlob finishing second in the 95H and finishing in that third and final redraw position, the 77 of Michael Walter. Finishing fourth, the 27 of Troy Wagaman Jr. and finishing in fifth, that fifth and final transfer, the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss. Going to a B main, finishing in sixth is going to be the 5 of DJ Christie, 7th, the 12S of Brent Shear, 8th, the 22 of Doug Hammaker, 9th, the 69X of Cassidy Kreitz, and JT Ferry in 10th.
Heat race number 2 is brought to you by Harshbarger Sub and Malt, serving you at 2 locations in McVeigh and Mifflintown. They serve great food in a 50s mood. They offer 24 flavors of homemade ice cream and great daily specials, which includes 50s Night Wednesdays. You can go like them on their Facebook today.
So heat race number 2 is going to look like this when they come to the green flag. Starting on the pole, the driver is from Mays Landing, New Jersey, in the Janney Electric, Banff Off-Road Lighting, Danny's Pizza Pizzazz, ABS Electrical, 35 of Buddy Schweibens. Alongside him, outside front row, the drivers from Newtown and the 410 Enterprises, Fire and Safety Services, DHS Enterprises, IGA Middleburg, 11T of Mikey Thompson.
Starting third from Mount Pocono, PA, in the JPA Masonry, Amantia Real Estate, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, El Toro Building Supply, 88J, it's Joey Amantia. And to his outside from right here in Port Royal, PA, in the DL George & Sons, Beavers Auto Body, Dawson Performance, West End Automotive, 27S, it's Dylan Sisney.
Third row to the inside, the driver is from Hanover, and the Trone Outdoor, Bourbon Belt, Diversified Cuts, Next Level Sign and Graphics, 39, it's JJ Loss. And rolling off in the 6th position, he is from Gettysburg. In the Weichert's Livestock, RV 4-wheel drive, Heiser Motorsports, Speedway, Subaru, and Volkswagen. Car number 48, it's Danny Dietrich.
Inside of row number 4, out of Aspers, PA, in the Snellbecker Electric, Drop of Ink Tac 2, Magoo's Motorcycles, Antietam Dairy and Ice Cream 8D, it's Billy Dietrich. And to his outside from Harrisonville, PA, in the Mac McGee Motorsports, Sainer Brothers, John Ott Racing, Coleman Farms, 55, it's the pilot of Logan Wagner.
Final row looks like this. Starting in the 9th position, we just interviewed him and Kishbank Victor Lane for being last year's track champion from Southampton, New Jersey, in a Cronenberger Fine Jewelry, Turn Engineering, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group 67, it's Justin Woodall. And final starter in this one, starting in the 10th position from New Oxford in the K.R. Perry Trucking, BDI The Auction Guy, Major League Sports Bar and Grill, Big Daddy's Grill and Chill, 33 of Gerard McIntyre Jr. Once again, 10 laps will be the distance. Top 5 finishers moving directly into the feature event. Top 3 will be into a redraw. Don't forget to purchase a 50-50 ticket here this afternoon. The girls are making their way through the grounds. The jackpots are always quite lucrative here at the Speed Palace, so make sure you purchase a 50-50 ticket. Remember, you can't win if you don't play.
And hey, Earl, we got the junior fan of the night, Cora, a Juniata girl right here in Juniata County. She's riding around in the pace truck tonight. She already waved that flag when I was over at the accident scene. So, Cora, era right here in Juniata County, riding around in the pace truck tonight.
Yeah, we continue the Junior Fan of the Night program here at Port Royal Speedway. Make sure to check that out every week at the Fan Zone, right as you come in the general admission gate. Get to wave the green flag, ride in the pace truck, free food and more. So make sure you sign up for that week in and week out.
Can we have your attention, please? Can we have your attention, please? We have an open radio here on the grounds. Now, we know it's not one of our officials. If you are having a radio on and you're not part of the officiating team, we're going to ask you to please turn off that radio. Once again, if you are wearing a radio and you are not a part of the officiating team here at the Port Royal Speedway, we are going to ask you to please turn off that radio. Thank you for your cooperation.
So the yellow coming out as Mikey Thompson stopping there on the back straightaway. Thompson was scheduled to roll off outside of row number 1 here in this second heat race.
Thompson last year in 6 feature starts had 1 top 5 and 1 top 10 finish. That top 5 came here on July 19th when he finished in that second position. So keep your eye on Mikey Thompson as he will join the field and move back up top to outside row number 1. As getting word over the Port Royal radio system, that was a safety issue. So Thompson with a safety issue. That is why he is going to go back out to the outside of row number 1. So we are going to go green this time by. Who are going to be the next 5 drivers to make it into today's feature event? A lot of big names here for the season opener. A lot of big names here for the second heat race of the year. Let's see what happens. They come to the Packers concession. Chuck line in turn 4. Green flag is out. We're underway.
Cars fan out there along the front straightaway. Buddy Schweib until lead us into turn number 1. Look at the White Livestock 48 of Danny Dietrich. He's up into 3rd.
Danny Dietrich looking for more. Is going to drive by Thompson into turns number 3 and 4. What a great start to this heat race by Danny Dietrich. Remember, he started 6th in this one. He's already up in the 2nd.
Dylan Sisney, he's sitting in that 4th spot, battling with J.J. Loss. Gets a good run off of turns 1 and 2. Can't get past the 11T of Mike Thompson to get into that 3rd redraw spot.
So Buddy Schweiben still the leader. Dietrich running in that runner-up spot, starting to track down Schweiben in turns 1 and 2. Right now, Mikey Thompson still in 3rd. Behind him, you got Dylan Sisney, J.J. Lost in that 5th and final transfer. Right now, Logan Wagner is on the outside looking in. He has got to find a way around J.J. Lost to try to make it into today's feature event via this heat race.
Battles have been good throughout the field because our track champion, Justin Whittle, he's been struggling just to find space to get himself out of the back of the pack. He's only right now up into 9th, going past Billy Dietrich for that 8th spot, but a way to go to get into tonight's A main.
Track a little tricky for some of these drivers, you know. Has a lot of grip, maybe going into the entrance, into the turns, but coming off the turns, a little slick where you got to use a lot of throttle control. As I say that, there goes Dylan Sisney. He's going to peek to the outside of Thompson, a battle for 3rd.
Sisney was able to pick up a win in that ride last year after being out of the seat for much of the 2025 season. Took a look at Thompson there through 3 and 4, but couldn't get the car to stick. Now Loss will reel him in as well as Logan Wagner.
So we all got Mikey Thompson, Dylan Sisney, J.J. Loss, Logan Wagner, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place drivers very close to each other as Wagner got a little sideways there on the entry into turn number 3. Remember, he has got to find a way to get to J.J. Loss and get around him to try to break into today's feature event as we have 3 laps to go this time by.
Time is running out. Schweibens, he continues to lead. Him and Danny Dietrich are a quarter mile ahead of the rest of the field. They're on the back straightaway just as Mikey Thompson is coming by the start-finish line.
Buddy Schweibens has never won a heat race here at the Port Royal Speedway in a 410 sprint car. Can he hang on for another 2 laps as Danny Dietrich really starting to close in now? Dietrich has the lead down to 10 car lengths.
Yeah, he cut off 0.2 of a second that time, but will it be enough? They're going to come to the white flag this next time by. Eye on our top 2 cars as the white flag flies.
And now your leader is officially in lap traffic with one more time around. Dietrich has it down to 5 car lengths. Can Dietrich pull out a Hail Mary to steal away the heat race win? They make their way into turns number 3 and 4. Schweiben's down low. Here comes Danny Dietrich to the outside. Side by side. Checker flag is out. Who's going to win the heat race? Give it to the 35B of Buddy Schweibens. Wow, what a finish.
The rest of the field coming in now behind Thompson, third, Sisney, and J.J. Loss in those 5 transfer spots. But what a finish there in heat race number 2. Danny Dietrich giving Buddy Schweibens all he's worth. So how about that for Buddy Schweibens picking up the heat race win? And Buddy coming out of the 305 ranks here just very recently. I mean, he was very dominant, very good in 305 racing and showing what that division can do to build those skills and hang with the big dogs like he did just there in that second heat race. Buddy Schweibens the winner, Danny Dietrich second, Mike Thompson third, Dylan Sisney fourth, and J.J. Loss, your 5 transferring cars. Heading to the B main, Logan Wagner, Justin Whittle, Joey Amantia, Billy Dietrich, and Gerard McIntyre. Your finish in heat race number 2. Heat race number 3, it is brought to you by Buttonwood Campground. They're located just 2 miles from the Speedway along the Juniata River on East River Road. With over 270 tent and RV campsites, Buttonwood Campground has an atmosphere of mountains, rolling farmlands, and fresh country air to complete your camping experience. Make sure you plan your next trip to the races and camping experience around Buttonwood Campground at buttonwoodcamp.com.
So this is how they're going to line up for heat race number 3. Starting on the pole from Fayetteville in the low bar design, low bar incorporated, Glenville Station, E.H. Gockenauer and Sons. Car number 8, it's Lance DeWeese. Alongside him from Liverpool in the Mountain View Travel, High Tech Metals, Village Square Plaza, C&B Chubby. Car number 11, it's TJ Stutz.
Rolling off in 3rd position, he's out of Elverson, PA, in the Moose Meadows Ames Construction, Tensor Aviation 11A. It is Austin Bishop. And his outside from Enola in the Bruner Service Center, RV 4-wheel drive, Bruce's Speed Shop, Chet's Trunks 47K. It's Cody Lehman.
Starting in the 5th position from Sunbury in the Keene Real Estate, Mach 1 Chassis, 4-Leaf Clover Farms, Keene Parts. Car number 17, it's Mark Smith. And to the outside of row number 3 we go. The driver is from Fawn Grove in the Flux Racing, Reading Auction Service, LTP Rentals, Stevie Car. Car number 10 of Matt Campbell.
Inside of road number 4, the driver comes from Beavertown, PA, in the Throttle Works, Salem RV, Hair Express, I'm Good Tree Service 5K. It's Jake Kirkland. And his outside starting in 8th. The driver comes from Allentown, PA, in the Boulevard Truck Repair, E. Schneider and Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap, All Shucks Roasted Corn, 39D. It is Briggs Danner.
Yeah, final starter in this one from Dillsburg in the J&S Classics, M&M Painting and Construction, DMS Trash, York Excavating. Car number 39M, it's Anthony Macri.
Want to shoot a quick happy birthday to Alfred Mitchell, celebrating his 50th birthday here with us at Port Royal Speedway. Appreciate him getting that in before the week. If you want to get a birthday shout out, make sure you do that ahead of time before racing starts. Do that through the week. Reach out on Facebook at Port Royal Speedway Trackside Media. Happy birthday to Alfred Mitchell, turning 50 this year today.
Also, don't forget to make sure you make your way over to the Gridiron Pub and Gridiron Pizza on Sunday, March 29th from 12:30 to 4 o'clock. They're going to have some specialty bartenders there. They're going to have drivers that compete here at the Port Royal Speedway at the Gridiron Pub and Gridiron Pizza on Sunday, March 29th. All proceeds will be donated to the Port Royal Speedway Kids Night Fun. So make sure you go to the Gridiron Pizza and Gridiron Pub on Sunday, March 29th from 12:30 to 4.
Eyes on the front and back of this one. Second in all-time wins at Port Royal Speedway, Lance DeWeese rolling off in that new ride for 2026, that Eichelberger number 8. on the pole. And then right at the rear of the field, of course, Anthony Macri starting on the tail of this one. See if he can put on a show here in heat race number 3.
Talk about new paint schemes. Look at that driver on the outside of row number 2, the 47K of Cody Lehman was able to catch up with him earlier this afternoon, and he is ready to go here at the Speed Palace. And that's exactly what we're going to do here in heat race number 3 as it's underway.
Lance Deweese, he's got the whole shot into turn number 1. Look at Matt Campbell to the outside of Cody Lehman. He'll take the 3rd spot as we got 3 cars battling for position behind them.
Matt Campbell showing some speed early on as we come around to complete lap number 1 for the 3rd heat race of the afternoon. He will go in that 3rd spot. Stutz running in 2nd. It's a hornet's nest behind him, however. You got a 47K of Cody Lehman 4th, Mark Smith in 5th, and keep your eye on the 39M of Anthony Macri, as right now he's up into P7.
Yeah, he's picked off 2 cars so far. He's got Austin Bishop in front of him, just burning a little bit off. Macri was on his tail in turn number 1 last time and just couldn't get the car to stick in turn 1. He's going to follow him here once again. That'll give Bishop enough of a gap as Kirkland tries to get around Danner to his outside.
So Lance Deweese, your leader, newly named driver of the Rich Eichelberger-owned number 8 this year. Had some mechanical issues earlier on down at the Lincoln Speedway, but he was the hard charger the last time the Ford 10 sprint cars were in competition at the Pigeon Hills. Again, Lance Deweese sits 2nd on the all-time win list here at the Port Royal Speedway with 124 wins. He looks good right now as he heads into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, we had a brief battle for that 2nd spot. Campbell had caught Stutz, but lost him in turns 1 and 2. Right now, playing cat and mouse, Anthony Macri with Mark Smith. That's battling for that final transfer spot right now. He's to his inside, he's to his outside, but just can't find the lane.
Yeah, can Anthony Macri make his way into the feature event via this heat race? They are nose to tail down the backstretch. Mark Smith in the Keen-owned number 17, looking good, trying to make that car as wide as it could be to fend off the Concrete King.
Macri now to the inside of Smith here, and he'll make the pass. Smith trying to get right back by him. They make a little bit of contact. Both okay. We'll keep going off the backstretch.
Lap starting to tick away here in the 3rd heat race for the Whitecoats Livestock Ford 10 sprint cars. Lance Deweese right now has over a 3-second lead in that 8. He looks pretty good here earlier on this afternoon.
Yeah, getting out front and getting comfortable early as he takes the 2 to go symbol, does Lance Deweese. Then you've got Stutz and Campbell, your top 3 in those redraw spots. Lehman, then Macri in the 5 transfer positions.
Austin Bishop will drive underneath the 5K of Jake Kirkland once again on the front stretch. He'll move up into P7. So the white flag is out for LD. He'll go into turns 1 and 2. He still has a healthy 3.7-second lead in this one, as pretty much he can shut it off and coast it from here. Off of turn number 4, checker flag is out, and Lance Deweese will win the 3rd heat race of the afternoon.
Finishing in 2nd will go TJ Stutz, Matt Campbell in 3rd. Cody Lehman will hold on to 4th. Anthony Macri will keep the 5th and final transfer spot. So all cars across there for the 3rd heat race for the Weicker Livestock 410 sprint cars, and Lance Deweese picking up the 3rd heat race win. Finishing 2nd was the 11 of TJ Stutz. 3rd was the 10 of Matt Campbell. 4th, the 47K of Cody Lehman. And in the 5th and final transfer position, the 39M of Anthony Macri. 6th was the 17 of Mark Smith. 7th, the 11A of Austin Bishop. 8th, the 5K of Jake Kirkland. And in 9th, the 39D of Briggs Danner. The 4th and final heat race for the Weicker Livestock 410 Sprint Cars is brought to you by Penny and Bank. They're the official sponsor of the Kids Money Scramble coming up later this summer. Penny and Bank is redefining banking through personal connections and personalized experiences for their customers. And they provide banking-related financial services in your communities. Check them out online at penny.bank.
So 4th and final heat race for the Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars making their way out from the pit area. This is how they are going to line up. Starting on the pole from Royersford in the Sunny Hill Trucking, TC Transportation, Royalton Recycling, Kaufman Financial Group, car number 17B, it's Stevie Buckwater. And alongside him, from Salfordville, in the Trans-East Equipment, Pioneer Pole Buildings, Ken's Tires, Specialty Rigging. Car number 51, it's Freddie Raymer.
Starting in third from Lewes, Delaware, in the Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches, Betts Garage, Easy Go Golf Carts, Magoo's Motorcycles 91 is Preston Latimus, and to his outside, out of Sinking Spring, PA, the Viper Risk Management, Auto Fix LLC, the Aussie Sprinkler, thanks John and Bond 22E, it's Nash Ely.
Rolling off fifth from Birdsboro, in the McSherry's Town Moose, Stevie Carr Motorsports, Livingston Lawn Care, straight out of Bear Hill Car X, it's going to be Aaron Bollinger. And starting in the 6th position from Carlisle, in the Horsecraft Millworks, Smoking Gun Fabrication, Richie Wings, Snooks Performance. Car number 35, it's Jason Schultz.
Starting in 7th, the drivers out of Warrington, PA, in the Bloss Plumbing, Carmen Industrial Services, Posse Land 55M, it's Dominic Malaire. And to his outside, starting 8th, out of Kunkletown, PA, in the Lehigh Valley Industrial, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Jetco, Carmen Trucking 69, it is Ryan Smith.
Yeah, final starter in this one, rolling off all alone in row number 5. The driver hails from Wells Tannery in the R&R Motorsports, McGee Motorsports, Thompsontown Cornerstone Deli and Restaurant. Car number 95, it's Garrett Bard. This is the final heat race for the Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars.
If you're looking to get a golf cart here at Port Royal Speedway, permits are now available. All golf carts, they must be registered with the Speedway office. Fees are $25 for seasonal campsite holders, $50 for non-site holders. Golf carts with no permit stickers will be cabled, and a fee of $100 will be charged to have the cable removed. Golf carts only, no ATVs or side-by-sides during the regular race season. Golf carts are not allowed in the pit area, and operators must be of 16 years or older with a valid driver's license.
So, Brad, let's look at this starting lineup here. And I'm going to look deep in this one. Garrett Bard, right? Final starter. He has been so close here at the Port Royal Speedway getting a 410 win. Last year, his season best finish was a runner-up finish on May 17th. Last year, also, he had 4 top 5s and 1 top 10s. He is going to have his work cut out for him here in this one.
Yeah, if you remember last year, it was a Race of the Year contender where Anthony Macri stole it from him off of turn number 4, and it wasn't like Garrett Bard was just surviving. They were going punch for punch in that one. A long way to go in this heat race, but we'll see what he's got cooked up for this season. Garrett Bard's got a win coming down the lane.
Also, Ryan Smith has his work cut out for me. He was a 2-time winner last year, winning the Kaufman Classic, and also show here in March last year, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. You know that Kreitz own 69K is going to be good here in the slick. See what happens here as we get underway with the 4th and final heat race for the Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars.
It's a good start for Freddie Raymer. He'll have the early advantage off of turn number 2. Ryan Smith, he's battling for position further back in the pack right now with Jason Schultz. That's for that 5th and final transfer spot. Gets a good run through the middle of the corner, but not enough to get around the 35.
So Freddie Raymer is going to lead lap number 1 here in this one. We'll keep our eye on the battle for that 5th and final transfer. And there goes Ryan Smith to the outside of Jason Schultz. Close racing down the back straightaway. Does Schultz, wow, he tried to thread the needle there between the wall, and Ryan Smith was right there through the middle, had to check up, and that is going to let Smith move into that final transfer.
Now the battle just a position ahead as you've got the X of Bollinger battling with the 22E of Nash Ely. He's to his inside, down the back straightaway. Good entry into the corner. They're going to cross over. Here comes Nash Ely now to the inside as they battle for 3rd.
This is a very important spot because this is the final position to try to make it into this afternoon's redraw. And right now, give it to Aaron Bollinger in the X as he's starting to pull away from Nash Ely right now.
And that's going to allow the 69K of Ryan Smith to reel him in, but you just watch the car bottle there in the entrance of the corner and just a bit of a bubble off the exit. It's not slowing him down too much though, Ryan Smith, as he reels in the 22E.
There's your leader, Freddie Raymer, out to a healthy 3.3-second lead in the 51. That's pretty much a straightaway here at the Port Royal Speedway. You still have Preston Latimus running in that runner-up spot. Bollinger in 3rd. Nash Ely in 4th, but Ryan Smith starting to close in as he runs 5th.
We're going to have 4 laps to go this time around as Freddie Reamer continues to lead. Bollinger reeling in Latimus. Smith reeling in Elias. They're going to be the best 2 battles for position on track right now.
We're going to have 3 laps to go this time by, as Bollinger still keeping pace with Preston Latimus. 2 young guns here in 410 sprint car competition in Central PA. Getting very close to each other here in turns number 1 and 2. Bollinger, he is going to go up high, has a great run on Latimus down the back straightaway.
Yeah, he's getting really good speed through the corners is Bollinger. They'll both go through the middle top side there through 3 and 4. That'll keep them at bay and keep Latimus comfortable in second for another lap or maybe 2 to get to the checker. Latimus to the bottom, Bollinger trying to reel him in.
Looks like Bollinger has the momentum for the entry of the turns, but still Latimus smoothly straight off the exit. See what happens. Final time around for the final heat race of the afternoon for the White Livestock 410 sprint cars. Freddie Raymer down the back straightaway for the final time.
Freddie Raymer out to a 4.4 second lead. He is going to pick up the final heat race win. It's a battle for the second spot off the turns 3 and 4, but the 91 of Preston Latimus will hold on. So that puts the final heat race for the White Livestock 410 sprint cars in the books. Moving into tonight's A main, the 51 of Freddie Raymer with the heat race win, the 91 of Preston Latimus, and the X of Aaron Bollinger in third. Fourth, the 22 Ian Ashley, and in fifth, the 69K of Ryan Smith. Heading to the B main, the 35 of Jason Schultz, 7th, the 55M of Dominic Malaire, 8th, the 95 of Garrett Bard, and in 9th, credited with 9th, the 17B of Stevie Buckwalter.
So up next, we are going to have 2 consecutive heat races for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models. They are going to be 8 laps the distance. All cars will move on into today's feature event. I believe the top 4 finishers will be handicapped for their, top 4 finishers will redraw for their starting spot for their A main.
Starting on the pole of heat race number 1 for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models. The driver comes from Mifflintown. In the Kasner Service Center, Susquehanna Auto Glass, Key Trucking, Burger King, C33, it is Chris Kasner. And to his outside from Middleburg in the Creekside Auto Sales, Stein Trucking, the Ritz Trans, Windview Truck and Trailer Sales. Number 0 is Andrew Yoder.
Starting third from Lewistown in the Amsoil, Asher's Chocolate, Prosper Power Group, Crawlworks. 25K, it's going to be Cody Leiter, and alongside him from Elliotsburg in the Flickinger's Paws and Claws Grooming Shop, Flickinger's Heating and More, McGowan's Diesel, Faust Machine and Tool, 15 of Scott Flickinger.
Starting 5th out of Indiana, PA, in the Greg Satterley Motorsports Kaiser Manufacturers All About Wraps Classic King 22 is Greg Satterley. Rolling off in 6th out of Hampstead, Maryland, in the Sharps Farms We Sell Sporting Goods Frico Bosley Towing 21 is Chad Myers.
Starting in the 7th position from Winchester, Virginia, in the McFarland's Custom Painting and Wall Coverings, Fox Factory, Martin's Plumbing Service, North River Farm, 27, it's going to be Trevor Feathers, and alongside him from Greencastle in the Blakenfelder Mechanical Contractors, Anthony's Pizza, SKS, Ernides Enterprises, and St. Mary's Roofing. Car number 4, it's Gary Stuhler.
Then in New York, PB Trust, Leisure Lumber Company, Frico, Coleman Farms 121. Tailing the field is Tristan Niederer. 8 laps the distance, all going into tonight's A main. We're at the Packers Concessions chalk line, and we are green.
Good start by Andrew Yoder as he will jump out to the early lead. Going to follow him through is the 22 of Greg Satterley. As looks like Chris Kasner having some difficulty in that C33. He fell back to 4th right now.
Yeah, and he's battling with Trevor Feathers. Feathers to his inside, and he will move right around the C33 and pick up position behind them. Gary Stuhler going to battle with Cody Leiter. That is for that 6th spot.
Gary Stuhler right now. He's going to move into that 5th position and try to drive underneath Chris Kasner. However, Kasner hanging tough on the top side right there, but gets the car through the slick, and there goes Stuhler. He'll move up to P5.
So Greg Satterley, he's got Andrew Yoder in his sights. They're turning identical lap times that last time by. Yoder just about a lane or two higher than that of Satterley off of turn number 4. So we've got 5 laps to go here in the first heat race.
Side by side at the flag stand for third. Here comes Trevor Feathers trying to make a move on Flickinger. However, Flickinger powers to the outside of Feathers once again. Great battle for third spot. Both of those drivers trying to find some grip, but still your leader's Andrew Yoder, but Greg Satterley in the 22 is right there.
Trying to reel him in as Feathers still on the tail of the 15 of Flickinger. He's got a nose to his inside momentarily there off of turn number 2. Going into turn 3, they're both going to go middle. Feathers a bit lower here, trying to take the third spot as they're side by side off the floor.
Now there goes the 27 of Feathers to the inside of Flickinger. He'll move up into P3. As this time line, drivers are going to see the twin sticks in the air just 2 more times around. It's still all Andrew Yoder out front, but Greg Satterley starting to close in.
Satterley just hasn't been able to find the lane to get around Yoder. He cut 0.2 of a second off of Yoder's lead that last time by, but still 0.7 of a second between your top 2 cars as they come to see the white flag this time.
Andrew Yoder was a 2-time winner here last year. He's a 3-time limited late model track champion, trying to hold off Greg Satterley to get his first win of the year. Down the back straightaway they go for the final time. Yoder, that's about a 5-car length in between him and Satterley. Checker flag is out, and Andrew Yoder is going to win the first late model heat race of the year with the Penske Shock Super Late Models over Greg Satterley.
So that finishes up heat race number 1 for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models. Andrew Yoder picks up the heat race win, with second going to Greg Satterley. Third was the 27 of Trevor Feathers. Fourth, the 15 of Scott Flickinger. Fifth, the 4 of Gary Stuhler. Sixth was the C33 of Chris Kasner. Seventh, the 25K of Cody Leiter. Eighth, the 21 of Chad Myers. And in ninth, the 121 of Tristan Niederer. At Heat Race was brought to you by Royal Beverage. Make sure you stop by to fill your cooler with beverages and ice and ask them about all their daily selections and promotional items for Port Royal Speedway. You can find Royal Beverage on Facebook and stop by at their distributor at 5530 William Penn Highway in Mifflintown.
So this is how they are going to come to the green for the final heat race of the afternoon. Starting on the pole from Laurel, Maryland, in the Deese Trucking, All About Doors, Davini Race Engines, Kaiser Manufacturing 05, it's Roy Deese Jr. And rolling off to the outside of Deese, the driver is from right here in Port Royal. It's going to be the 23 of Lane Snook.
Lane Snook in the Feathers and Furs, Grassmeyer Auctioneering, MHT Transport, Steininger Brother Excavating number 23 here this afternoon. Rolling off in third out of Mapleton Depot, PA, in the Barron's Race Engines, Wagner's Excavating, Tin Man Body Shop, Penske by JDS D19 is Dylan Stake. And to his outside, out of Middleburg, PA, the Nittany Tractor, Strauss Electric, GNR Excavating and Demolition, Gibb, Robinson Septic Service 24 is Dylan Yoder.
Rolling off in the 5th position from Lewistown in the Schmitz Garage, Lost Creek Tree Service, Rocket Chassis, Penske Racing Shocks, 211, it's Jason Schmidt. And starting outside row number 3 from Dover in the Superior Homes, LeBaron's Auto Salvage, 382 Auto Sales, New Industrial Services, car number 1, it's Gene Knobb.
7th starter from Clear Spring, Maryland in the Red Wing Shoes, GDC Knowles Fire Protection 2J is Justin Weaver. And to his outside from York, PA, in the McSherrystown Moose, M&M Painting and Construction, Suburban Bowler, Emma Stevens Crane Service 24 is Rick Eckert.
And a final starter in this one from Beavertown in the Middlesworth Potato Chips, Northeast RV, Sealands Grove Ford, Kramer Funeral Home 9, it's Hayes Mattern as we are green in turn 4.
Roy Deese Jr., he'll have the advantage down the front straightaway. Lane Snook, Dylan Stake all over him there at turn 1 as we are 3 wide for position.
How about the rookie Lane Snook in super late model competition here this year? he had an incredible 2025 racing season in limited late model competition. He's going to lead lap 1.
Yeah, can he transfer that dominance into the super late model ranks? Got in a little hot there in turn number 1, but maintains the lead as Gene Knob momentarily looks to the outside of Weaver for that 4th spot.
Gene Knob was able to pick up a win in limited late model competition last weekend down at the Baps Motors Speedway. He's looking good earlier on in the 1. He's right there looking to the outside of Justin Weaver as Weaver now applies pressure to 3rd place driver Dylan Stake.
Your top 5, 6 cars all staying tight together as Mattern and Yoder battle. Deese Jr., Weaver to the inside of Stake. Cars all over the place here in the second heat race.
What a race we have here as Lane Snook still has it. Now here comes Roy Deese Jr. peeks to the inside. Goes up high, the car gets tight, leaves that bottom line open for Dylan Stake. Stake took a peek to the inside, nothing there.
Deese Jr. able to hold on to second. Now a good run on to Snook. They both go up high in turns 3 and 4. So we've got 4 laps to go. We're halfway through this second heat race.
Young driver Lane Snook trying to fend off the veteran of Roy Deese Jr. early on this year. As here comes Deese with another run on Snook. What a great battle for the top spot. As now here comes Justin Weaver. Weaver peeks to the inside of Stake. They are side by side for 3rd.
Stake looking like he's going to hold on to it here off of turn number 4. 3 laps to go now. Deese looks to the inside momentarily as Snook. Snook dives down low. Bottom lane open. Stake can't make a run as your top 3 cars battle for position.
Can the rookie Lane Snook get his first ever? Whoa, Deese got up on 2 wheels, brought it back down, and he'll still hang on to that runner-up spot. Wow, Roy Deese Jr. hanging on for dear life in turns 3 and 4. A little slow on the entry in turn 1 right there as now Dylan Stake's going to pull to the rear bumper.
Yeah, maybe just a bit tender going into 1 and 2 after biking it a bit there. And 3 and 4, Stake trying to take advantage of the momentum break and get that 2nd spot away. White flag is out as cars still all battle for position throughout the field.
24 of Dylan Yoder trying to advance his position. He just went to the outside of Gene Knob to take away that 5th position. They're going to come to the checker flag this time by. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? The rookie and last year's track champion in limited late model competition, Lane Snook, is going to pick up the heat race win over Roy Deese Jr. and a photo finish at the line for 3rd would give it to the D19 of Dylan Stake.
Boy, that was a fun one there for the second heat race for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models. Lane Snook able to hold on and pick up the win. 2nd was the 05 of Roy Deese Jr. 3rd, the D19 of Dylan Stake. 4th, the 24 of Dylan Yoder. 5th, the 2J of Justin Weaver. 6th was the 1 of Gene Knob. 7th, the 24 of Rick Eckert. 8th, the 9 of Hayes Mattern. And a 9th, the 211 of Jason Schmidt.
So that is going to wrap up heat race competition here at the season opener at the Port Rose Speedway. To our viewers watching on FloRacing 24/7, thanks for tuning in. For even more racing action, stream FloRacing anytime in the Flo Sports app.
That to me would happen so quick. Sandy got a bunch of photos of it. She was there too. She was snapping. I was watching. He wasn't hurt, was he? They don't have big bucks. I've been to their shop. They live by me. They do it out of their house. They keep the sprint car in the garage. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. They live in a little bi-level.
So while we've got a moment here again, just want to get a quick correction for any of you who picked up one of our physical paper copies of schedules. Just have a correction for that. It shows that next week is York County Racing Club night. That is not the case. York County Racing Club night is scheduled for June 13th. So if you are planning to attend for York County Racing Club night, it is not Saturday, March 28th. It will take place on June 13th. That'll be corrected, of course, but just wanted to make everyone aware for next Saturday, it is not York County Racing Club night. That is scheduled for June 13th.
So the call has gone out to the pit area for the 410 drivers to start to make their way to the racetrack for their B main. Brad, it feels like forever and a day since we actually had a true winter here in the state of Pennsylvania. It's probably a good decade since we had a decent winter. We had one this time around. I mean, tip of the cap to the track crew, right? Yeah. They had their work cut out. I mean, a week ago, the track was still pretty much frozen in turns number 1 and 2.
Yeah, and the temperatures have been all over the place. Yeah, we had a couple warm days like 2 weeks ago, and then bang, straight back down 20, 30 degrees days, enough to freeze everything back up, and it didn't warm up quickly. We were still in low temperatures earlier this week. Of course, a beautiful day today, but things don't just thaw out overnight, right? So they've done a fantastic job into getting this thing ready to go for today, and they do a fantastic job all year long, but it's a hard job to do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So tip the cap to the track crew here for doing their best work, and they are going to take some time after the B main to do a little track maintenance. If you're taking the time to stretch your legs, don't forget to check out Packers Concessions, as they are the presenting sponsor of today's afternoon race. Don't forget to check out all the other vendors we have here in the Midway. Don't forget to support your favorite drivers as well out there at the Port Royal Speedway fan zone. Obviously, again, we're right back in action next weekend with the Weikert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. Penske Racing Shock Super late models are also on the card. We get underway at 4 o'clock. And then we kick off the month of April with the Weikert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. It will be the season opening race for the Pennsylvania Sprint Series 305 Sprint Cars, brought to you by Penns Valley Meat Market. It is also going to be the season opener for our limited late model competitors, brought to you by River Rock Campground. River Rock Campground coming on board to become the presenting sponsor of the limited late models here during the 2026 racing season. Looks like I may need to make a phone call, especially what happened earlier on there in turn 2 with JT Ferry getting into a billboard brought to you by River Rock. But nonetheless, we'd like to thank those fine people for coming on board, for becoming the presenting sponsor for the limited late models.
Yeah, and you made mention of the month of April. The Keith Kaufman Classic is shaping up to be a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't paying attention to social media this week, it was put out. There is a fully restored K33 that has been put together that is going to be here at the track. It's very awesome, of course, an iconic car that Keith Kaufman piloted. It's not just going to be here for you to take pictures with. It's not just going to be here for you to reminisce upon. That car is going to take to the track. It is going to pace the field for the feature event, and it is going to have the man from Mifflintown himself behind the wheel of that, which is a pretty incredible situation. So we're excited for all the more that is to come with the Keith Kaufman Classic coming up at the end of April.
And hey, Earl and Brad, I'm going to have some giveaways too, thanks to Ray's Landscaping. I got some Macri koozies yet from last year, a hat, and I got some other local drivers, sprint car drivers, that got me some shirts. So I'm going to be around in the audience here, maybe in the infield a little bit. So just give you a heads up, fans. I got some free giveaways coming up.
Again, super awesome event to come. Thank you, Doug, and thanks everybody who's helping to put that together. And as you can see, cars are making their way out onto the track here as we get ready to roll for the B main event, and here's how they will line up. Starting on the pole here for the Weiker Livestock 410 B main event, he comes from Beachville, Ontario, and the Glenn Stires Racing, Ackland Insurance, LMP Excavating, Wampum Fuels, number 5, it's DJ Christie, and to his outside from Harrisonville, PA. In the Mac McGee Motorsports, Sander Brothers, John Ott Racing, Coleman Farms, 55 is Logan Wagner.
Second row will look like this. To the inside from Sunbury in the Keene Real Estate, Mach 1 Chassis, 4-Leaf Clover Farms, Keene Parts. Car number 17, it's Mark Smith. And starting in the 4th position from Carlisle in the Horsecraft Millworks, Smoking Gun Fabrication, Richie's Wings, Snooks Performance, 35, it's Jason Schultz.
Starting in 5th out of Mannheim, PA, in the Joanne Brick Shears Welding Case Equipment Donson Transport, number 12, it is Brent Shear. And to his outside from Southampton, New Jersey, in the Cronenberger Fine Jewelry, Turret Engineering, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group 67, it's Justin Whittle.
Starting in the 7th position from Elverson in the Moose Meadows, Ames Construction, Tensor Aviation, car number 11A, it's Austin Bishop. And rolling off in the 8th position, the driver is in the Bloss Plumbing, Karma Industrial Services, Posseland, 55M of Dominic Malaire. He's from Warrington.
Starting in 9th out of Grantville, PA, in the JNS Classics, Hummel Landscaping, Tab Works, Randy Shear Plumbing and Heating 22, it's Doug Hammaker. And 10th starter, he's out of Mount Pocono, PA. In the JPA Masonry, Amantia Real Estate, Kaiser Aluminum Wheels, El Toro Building Supply, 88J, it's Joey Amantia.
11th starters from Beavertown in the Throttle Works, Salem RV, Hair Express, I'm Good Tree Service, 5K, it's Jake Carklin. And rolling off in position number 12 from Wells Tannery. In the R&R Motorsports, McMgee Motorsports, Thompsontown Cornerstone Deli and Restaurant, 95 of Garrett Bard.
Inside of row number 7. Out of Sinking Spring, PA, in the Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Carmen Trucking, Lehigh Valley Industrial Jetco 69X, it is Cassidy Kreitz. Rolling off 14th out of Aspers, PA. In the Snellbecker Electric, Drop of Ink Tattoo, Magoo's Motorcycles, Antietam, Dairy and Ice Cream 8D, it's Billy Dietrich.
Starting in the 15th position from Allentown, in the Boulevard Truck Wash, E. Schneider & Sons Recycling, Keystone Cap, All Shucks Roasted Cord, 39D, it's Briggs Danner. Moving to outside road number 8 in that 16th position from New Oxford in the K.R. Perry Trucking, BDI the Auction Guy, Major League Sports Bar, Big Daddy Grill and Chill. Car number 33, it's Gerard McIntyre Jr.
Scheduled to go out to make up road number 9. The driver comes from Royersford, PA, in the Sunny Hill Trucking, TC Transport, Royalton Recycling, Kaufman Financial Group 17B of Steve Buckwater. And to his outside, scheduled to go out from Drums, PA. In the BCI, Harry's You Pull It Auto Parts, Tennescent Supply, Coast Cards LLC, 18J's JT Ferry.
So, Brad, with a 18-car B main, it just shows you how tough the competition is going to be here at the Port Royal Speedway. But it also shows you how tough and lucrative the newly formed JNS Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series, brought to you by HoseHeads.com, is going to be this year.
Yeah, I mean, you see the field of cars. You look at the names in this B main. You've got our 5-time track champion, Logan Wagner, in here. You have our current track champion of Justin Whittle lining up in 6th. You've got guys like Garrett Bard who have been very, very good. You know, there are heavy hitters in this B main, lining up here tonight. And just like you said, it just shows the power of what this series can hold here coming up in 2026.
So drivers being told over the one-way radio system to get in line behind the John Schaefer Dodge Pace truck. As again, after this B main, we are going to take a short intermission for the track crew to come out onto the surface to let them do what they need to do before we go into this afternoon's A mains events. Looks like we have 16 cars making the call out of the original 18. Obviously, JT Ferry took quite a tumble in his heat race. And looks like Stevie Buckwalter scratched as well. So here we go. Final qualifying race of the afternoon. Who are going to be the final 4 drivers to make it in to the first race of the year here at the Speed Palace? Slow pace to the Packers concession, chalk line in turn 4. They're right there. Here we go. The B main is underway.
Solid side-by-side start down the front straightaway between Christie and Wagner. Wagner, he's going to get a good charge off of 2, and he'll have the lead.
So Logan Wagner is going to set the early pace in the 55. DJ Christie's going to settle in that runner-up spot. Right now you got Jason Schultz in 3rd, and last year's track champion The 67 and Justin Woodall sits in that fourth and final transfer.
Yeah, only 4 spots get in as you watch guys all battle for position throughout the field. Looking at the 5K of Jake Kirkland. He's been trying to go to the outside of the 12 of Brent Shears. They got Mark Smith. He's crossing over and diamonding the corner in front of him as that's going to become a 3-car battle now.
Yeah, what a move by Mark Smith to drive back under Brent Shear. Now here comes the 5K of Kirkland. He'll go underneath Shear. Now he's going to go right to the rear bumper of Mark Smith. Those drivers are still on the outside looking in as they are running 5th and 6th right now.
Kirkland's going to mount a run up top. There's just a window there, and he will squeeze right through it. He will take that spot away, move Kirkland up into 5th. In front of them, Justin Whittle. He's going to go around the 35 of Jason Schultz, get himself off the bubble a bit of that 4th and final transfer spot.
5K of Jake Kirkland. That car is working good right now. Remember, he originally started 11th in this one. Still has to try to make up one more position to track down Jason Schultz. And Schultz a little bit off the pace in the turns 1 and 2, and there goes Kirkland to the outside.
Yeah, Schultz was really fighting that car as he looks like he's going to shut it down, and his night is done. That now puts Jake Kirkland into the 8 main in that final transfer spot as he's going to try to reel in the 67 of Justin Whittle. But Whittle right now the fastest car on track.
And already your leader, Logan Wagner, is in heavy lap traffic in this one as we have 4 laps to go in the B main. Brad, with the leader Wagner and slower traffic, putting him in dirty air, you would think out there he's just going to hit his marks, do what he can do to try to really figure out the setup that he needs to put in this car for the upcoming feature event.
Yeah, just testing it a bit there in 3 and 4, just seeing if he can widen out the racetrack there a little bit. Because there's not a lot of real estate to work with right now. But like you said, do some testing, but also do some surviving. This lap traffic is not easy to parse.
No doubt about it. You just got to, take your time the best you can, right? You don't want to damage, obviously, and take yourself out of this B main. Right now, you're looking good as Logan Wagner. He has a 2.3 second lead over Christie as now Justin Whittle has tracked down Christie for that runner-up spot.
Yeah, as Logan Wagner just watching 2 lap cars battle in front of him, hops the car a bit there in 3 and 4, able to keep it going, but did have it on 2 wheels momentarily as Whittle, he's looking to battle for that 2nd spot as the white flag is out.
Goes to tail in turns 1 and 2, but we got Austin Bishop off the pace on the top side in turn 1. The caution flag is out. So caution flag waving with 1 lap to go in this afternoon's B main for the White Girls Livestock 410 sprint cars as Austin Bishop off the pace.
So that will reset the field. A 1 lap dash here to finish this B main out. Logan Wagner's lead had been cut down to 1.6 seconds and closing before that caution flag came out. We'll see how that affects things for DJ Christie, Justin Whittle, Jake Kirkland. Especially Jake Kirkland in that final transfer spot.
So when they come back to green, Logan Wagner is going to be at the point, restarting 2nd, DJ Christie, restarting 3rd, Justin Woodall, restarting in that 4th and final transfer, Jake Kirkland. My question to you, Brad Strasser, is if you are Mark Smith, how aggressive do you have to be on this restart to try to get into that 4th and final transfer?
Well, there's only 1 lap. There's not much time to give. You're only getting around this track in 17, 18 seconds. So there's no time to lose. So you're going to have to make a move, and you think that he's going to have to put a nose in there some way in turns 1 and 2, if not on the initial start, because you're only going to have 1 time around the speed palette.
Then you got to worry about everyone else behind you, right?
Yeah.
So field is being looked over by live timing and scoring officials. Lineup is good. Lights are out. So Logan Wagner, the pilot, is going to bring the field back to green here at the cone on the front straightaway. Turns 1 and 2 has been interesting all afternoon long. See what happens here on this restart. As Logan Wagner will get back on the loud pedal. We're back underway. Great restart by the pilot. Now here comes Justin Whittle. He'll peek to the inside of DJ Christie and will make that pass. Look at the 5K at Jake Carkland. He'll go by Christie for that final transfer, move up into third. They'll come off a 4. Checker flag is out. It's a Hornets' nest for that 4th and final transfer spot. Here comes Mark Smith to the outside of Christie. They drag race to the line, and Mark Smith is going to transfer into the feature event.
Well, how about that finish? We talked about the final transfer spot. It wasn't Jake Carkland who had to worry. He got himself up into third, and Mark Smith was able to take advantage and steal that 4th and final transfer spot away off of turn number 4. Your 4 transferring cars are Logan Wagner, Justin Whittle, Jake Carkland, and Mark Smith. The rest of your B main finishers in the 5 was DJ Christie, 6th to 12S of Brent Shear, 7th to 55M of Dominic Malaire, 8th to 22 of Doug Hammaker, 9th to 95 of Garrett Bard, and in 10th to 33 of Gerard McIntyre Jr. 11th was the 69X of Cassidy Kreitz, 12th the 8D of Billy Dietrich, 13th to 39D of Breaks Danner, 14th the 11A of Austin Bishop, 15th to 35 of Jason Schultz, 16th the 88J of Joey Amantia, credited with 17th and 18th were Steve Buckwalter and JT Fair.
So, as the B main cars are going to make their way back into the pit area for those drivers that transferred in to talk to those crews to make their final adjustments that they need to make on these 900 horsepower Breathing Dragons 410 sprint cars for the upcoming feature event. At this time, we're going to take another short commercial break here live on FloRacing. You are watching opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway.
All right, boys, who do you think's going to take the 410s?
Holy Macri.
Mike Wagner's shirt actually goes for Wagner Racing. Who's winning tonight?
Logan.
All right, he's stuck in the family. All right, so Logan's staying. All right, boys, going to break up here. Wait, we got an anniversary. What anniversary? No, you're being silly. You dudes aren't together, are you? No. All right. Okay. All right. I didn't know. I don't know. Happy anniversary. You want them. What about the 410s? Who are you thinking? Luis. All right. Sticking with Luis.
So
Chase Dietz. Chase Dietz. We got a lot of Chase Dietz out here, guys. So Chase Dietz is certainly up there in the win count with the fans here tonight.
We get attention down in the pit area. We need cars to begin staging there in the pit area. So drivers head to your ride, and we will be staging cars here on the front stretch for this afternoon's A main event.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so very much for coming out here to the Port Royal Speedway to kick off the 2026 racing season and to also kick off the season with the J&S Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series brought to you by HoseHeads.com. We'd like to thank our friends from Packers Concessions for presenting this afternoon's program. Ladies and gentlemen, you can start to see the Wagner's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars heading trackside. This is how they are going to line up for today's 25-lap A main event.
Outside of row number 12, the driver comes from Sunbury, PA. In the Keene Real Estate, Mach 1 chassis, 4-leaf Clover Farms, Keene Parts number 17, it is Mark Smith. And to his inside, out of Beavertown, PA, in the Throttle Works, Salem RV, Hair Express, I'm Good Tree Service 5K, is Jake Carkland.
rolling off 22nd. He got his work cut out for him. This driver hails from Southampton, New Jersey, in the Cronenberger Fine Jewelry, Turn Engineering, Milky Way Restaurant, RBH Group. Car number 67, it's Justin Whittall. To the inside of row number 11 we go. He was able to win this afternoon's B main event from Harrisonville. In the Mac McGee Motorsports, Santa Brothers, John Ott Racing, Coleman Farms. Car number 55, it's the pilot, Logan Wagner.
Outside of row number 10, starting 20th, out of Kunkletown, PA, in the Lehigh Valley Industrial, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, Jetco, Carmen Trucking, 69K, it's Ryan Smith. And to his inside, out of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, in the J&S Classics, M&M Painting and Construction, DMS Trash, York Excavating, 39M, it's the Concrete King of Anthony Macri.
Starting 18th from Hanover in the Trone Outdoor, Bourbon Belt, Diversified Cuts, Next Level Sign and Graphics. Car number 39, it's J.J. Laws. Rolling off in the 17th position, the driver is from Jonestown. He's in the Moose's LZ, Milton Hershey School, Heavy Equipment Loader, CSI Shocks 3Z of Brock Zierfoss.
16th starter, he comes out of Sinking Spring, PA, in the Viper Risk Management, AutoFix LLC, the Aussie Sprinkler, thanks John and Bond, 22E, it is Nash Ely. And 15th starter out of Enola, Pennsylvania, in the Bruner Service Center, RB 4-wheel drive, Bruce's Speed Shop, Chet's Trunks, 47K, it is Cody Lehman.
Rolling off in the 14th starting position, this driver hails from right here in Port Royal in the DL Georgia Sons, Beavers Auto Body, Dawson Performance, West End Automotive, 27S, it's going to be Dylan Sisney. Starting in the 13th position, he was a winner of the Greg Hodnett Classic last year from Hanover. And the Leland's Collectibles, Blazers Body Shop, Willwood Brakes, DMI. Car number 27, it's Troy Wagaman Jr.
12th starter out of Newtown, PA. In the 410 Enterprises, Fire and Safety Services, DHS Enterprises, IGA Middleburg 11T, it is Mike Thompson. And his inside out of Salfordville, PA. In the Trans East Equipment, Pioneer Pole Buildings, Ken's Tire, Specialty Rigging 51, it's Freddie Raymer.
Row number 5, we go to the outside, rolling off into 10th position from Selinsgrove. And the Roast Post, Fleet Reps, Victory Auto, B&B Seal Coating, River Valley Builder, 77, it's going to be Mike Walter Jr. And starting in the 9th position from Fayetteville in the Low Bar Design, Low Bar Incorporated, Glenville Station, E.H. Gochtenauer & Son. Car number 8, it's Lance DeWeese.
Starting in the 8th position outside of row number 4. The driver comes from Mays Landing, New Jersey, in the Janney Electric, Banff Off-Road Lighting, Danny's Pizza Pizzazz, ABS Electrical 35, it's Buddy Schweibens. Into his inside from Lewes, Delaware, in the Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches, Betts Garage, Easy Go Golf Carts, Magoo's Motorcycles 91, it's Preston Latimus.
Rolling off in the 6th position, the drivers from East Berlin, in the Brewer Home Improvements, J Fuels, H&H General Excavating, Moose Blocks. Car number 95H, it's Cody Hartlaw. And starting in the 5th position from Birdsboro in the McSherry's Town of Moose, Stevie Car Motorsports, Livingston Lawn Care, straight out of Bear Hill, Car X, it's Aaron Bollinger.
Outside of row number 2, out of York, Pennsylvania, in the Traco Manufacturing, Mountain Ridge Metals, Glenville Station Pub and Grub, GNL Capital, Hoe and Shelt Welding, number 23, it is Chase Dietz. And his inside from Liverpool, PA, in the Mountain View Travel, High Tech Metals, Village Square Plaza, C&B Chubby, car number 11, it's TJ Stutz.
And here is how your front row is going to look for the season opener here at the Port Royal Speedway, brought to you by Packers Concessions. Starting on the outside, the driver is from Fawn Grove in the Flux Racing, Reading Auction Service, LTP Rental, Stevie Carr. Car number 10, it's Matt Campbell. And starting on the pole from Gettysburg in the Weichertz Livestock RV 4-wheel drive, Heiser Motorsports, Speedway, Subaru, and Volkswagen. Car number 48, Double D, Danny Dietrich.
So before we allow these cars to shove off, one of our regulars here at Port Royal Speedway, not able to be with us this evening, was the 99 of Devin Adams. His father has been going through some health complications, and he announced earlier this week that they would be taking some time before hitting the track to get everything right. He did not want to be here without his father. So We here at Port Royal Speedway want to send our thoughts, our prayers, and our support from us to the Adams family as they try to recover, as we look forward to see them back at the track.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we said all week long you are going to witness history here at the Port Royal Speedway. A lot of work has gone into this brand new series during the off season. This is race number 1 of the J&S Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series presented by HoseHeads.com. I know I asked you just before we got underway with heat races, but I'm going to ask you again. Race fans, are you ready? Cars begin to shove off here at the Port Royal Speedway. So drivers start to get in line behind the John Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck. Again, race fans, we thank you so very much for coming out here to the Speed Palace. We also thank everyone for tuning in at home via FloRacing. Danny Dietrich, Matt Campbell, TJ Stutz, Chase Dietz, Aaron Bollinger, Cody Hartlob, Preston Latimus, Buddy Schweibens, Lance DeWeese, Michael Walter, Freddie Raymer, Mikey Thompson, Troy Wagaman Jr., Dylan Sisney, Cody Lehman, Nash Ely, Brock Zierfoss, JJ Loss, Anthony Macri, Ryan Smith, Logan Wagner, Justin Whittall, Jake Carklin, and Mark Smith, your 24 starters. The lineup is good. Lights are out. Ryan Benny letting the cars know that we are going to go green next time by. The racing has been absolutely fantastic all afternoon long. The John Schaefer Dodge Pace Truck will duck into the infield. Race fans, are you ready? Well, for the first time of the 2026 racing season, it is time to light the fires and kick the tires here at the Port Royal Speedway, and the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Car A main is green.
Danny Dietrich will lead us down the front straightaway. Chase Dietz to the inside. He gets by Campbell, battling for the lead, but Dietrich has it off too.
Dietrich is going to set the early pace in the Weichert Livestock 48. Chase Dietz going to try to hunt him down. Matt Campbell looks good right now, rolling in that third spot. Lance DeWeese momentarily peeked to the inside of TJ Stutz to try to break into the top 5. Cody Hartlob has a little bit of smoke coming out of the left side of that engine bank as he still runs 4th.
DeWeese right behind as he got by Stutz. That's going to move DeWeese up into the 5th spot. Looking to the inside of Hartlob momentarily, just keeping an eye on those puffs of smoke coming out of the 95 of Hartlob. Still running good in that 4th spot.
So right now, Dietrich still looks good in the 48, works the top side of the racetrack. Chase Dietz only about 7 car lengths behind them. Starting to tick laps off here for the season opener at the Port Royal Speedway. Still a great battle you see right there on the back straightaway, Brad, between Lance DeWeese and TJ Stutz for 5th.
Yeah, Stutz is getting great runs off the corners or at the end of the corners, but just not able to make the pass. He lost some grip there in turns 3 and 4. That'll lose him some ground and give Lance DeWeese some breathing room there in that 5th spot.
So now Danny Dietrich can already start to see the tail end of this field as we got Mark Smith off the pace. And a hard wreck in turns number 1 and 2. 2 cars getting upside down. The red flag is going to come out. So safety crews quickly to the scene in the middle of turns number 1 and 2. So you can see safety personnel tending to the drivers as the red flag comes out with 20 laps to go in the Weikert Livestock 410 Sprint Car A main event. So being told that the two drivers getting upside down is Dylan Cisney and Nash Ely. So we are getting word over the Port Royal radio system that all drivers are okay in turns number 1 and 2. At the time of accident, Dylan Cisney was running in the 19th position. Nash Ely running in the 22nd position. Brad Strasser, we talk about all of the safety components that these drivers, you know, put on when they strap into these 410 sprint cars. And we always stress about safety. This is a dangerous sport. We all know that. But luckily, all the safety mechanisms coming into play to where those drivers were able to get out of those two sprint cars under their own power.
Yeah, you just look at the 27S there, Dylan Cisney's car heading down the back straightaway, you know, on the fork. And I mean, that car's caving in around him. You know, meanwhile, you're being pitched through the air at 100 miles an hour. Not an exaggeration. Going end over end, and out the walls are coming in around you. And it's incredible that these guys can, you know, at that speed, get up and walk away under their own power. Is impressive and a testament to the safety equipment and where things are. And glad to hear that they were able to get out of their vehicles.
Also a testament to the safety team that we have here, right? They come here to the Port Royal Speedway on a weekly basis. They do it because they love this place and they love protecting the drivers and making sure they are safe. And a tip of the cap to all of the safety workers, push truck drivers, tow truck drivers here on a weekly basis for getting out there very quickly to attend to those two drivers. So now they got Nash Ely's 22E on the back of Wrecker. So this is going to erase the 1 second lead that Danny Dietrich had over Chase Dietz. Matt Campbell looking strong in that 10, running third. Cody Hartlob fourth, Lance Deweese in fifth. The rest of the top 10 will look like this coming back to the green. TJ Stutz, Aaron Bollinger, Buddy Schweibens, Freddie Raymer, and Troy Wagaman Jr.
And Mike Walter Jr., Brock Zierfoss, Justin Whittle, Preston Latimus, Ryan Smith through 15th, Cody Lehman, Anthony Macri, Logan Wagner, Mike Thompson, J.J. Loss, Jake Kirkland, and Mark Smith. Your field at this point, though Mark Smith was slowing at the point, that's where our eyes were when the accident began. It was Mark Smith was slowing on the front straightaway. Turned our eyes to that, and the accident happened in turns 1 and 2. So I would assume the 17 also won't refire, but we will see where things start when we get them back rolling.
So Danny Dietrich is no stranger to victory lane here at the Port Royal Speedway, and no stranger to winning opening day here at the Speed Palace. Dietrich was able to win opening day here back on April 6th of 2024. Dietrich has 11 career Port Royal victories. See if he can hang on for another 20 laps. Chase Dietz, we talked about him, probably one of the hottest drivers in sprint car competition coming into this event in Central PA action.
Yeah, he's already been able to pick up 2 wins here in 2026. Won the Icebreaker at Lincoln, picked up the opening event at BAPS. So he's had a very solid performance, picked up a podium finish last week at BAPS as well. Running in second, he had 2 wins here with us in 2025. So those top 2 cars, strong contenders out in front here early.
Matt Campbell doesn't have a lot of experience like some other drivers do here at the Port Royal Speedway. Mainly, he is a regular down at the Lincoln Speedway. Obviously, this is the first race of the JNS Classics PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series brought to you by HoseHeads.com. He looks good right now running third.
Yeah, I think the big thing with this series is you are going to see guys at tracks that you don't typically get to see them at on, a Saturday when Port Royal and Lincoln are running, or on a Friday or things like that, and you'll get to see guys mix it up. Talking about it earlier this week, there's going to be guys that are maybe disruptors, guys who can pick up wins. You have your guys who are heavy favorites. You have names like Danny Dietrich and Chase Dietz, but there's plenty of guys who can come out and pick up wins. Garrett Bard close to getting a win. You have guys like Matt Campbell who can and mix it up and really throw things for a loop for what this 2026 season will be.
I mean, that's another great thing you just mentioned there. We're going to visit a lot of tracks that are almost neutral territory to a lot of these drivers, right? You're going to go to Clayton County. Yeah, they normally have 1 or 2 shows a year, right? But not a lot of these guys went up to those shows, so they're going to have to go to those shows. Bedford back on a series schedule that's going to have 410 sprint car racing. Obviously, Bridgeport, Path Valley, the list goes on and on. But yeah, we're going to go to a lot of neutral territory this year that's really going to level out the playing field for a lot of these drivers to take home some money.
So it'll be interesting to see week in and week out how the storylines change throughout that point fund that is very lucrative, for that season. On top of, that'll also have a factor in each track's individual track championship point standings as well. When these guys show up and get in the mix. So caution lights are back on here for the opening day A main. So we'll get these cars shoved off and back into their correct running order.
So the accident scene obviously cleaned up in turns number 1 and 2. Drivers are going to start to get into single file formation. behind the John Schaefer Dodge Pace truck in turn 3. When we are done with this feature event, we will head down to Kish Bank Victory Lane for Victory Lane ceremonies, and then we will bring out the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models for their 25-lap A main event. So the lineup is good. Caution lights are out. 5 laps are in, 20 to go. Danny Dietrich at the point in the Weikert's Livestock 48. He will point the car off the hill, gets back on the throttle. Green flag is out. Here we go. Dietz sticks right with Dietrich. He'll look to the inside of turns number 1 and 2. Lance Dietrich knows he's there, but Dietrich has the momentum. He'll take the lead back.
Matt Campbell hanging in the mix. Lance Deweese to the inside of Hartlop, battling for that 4th spot. Deweese, he's going to get by the 95. Hartlop runs it back down the hill to his inside as they battle for that 4th spot side by side.
Now they switch lanes again. Here comes Lance Deweese. He'll look down low and he'll complete the pass there off of turn number 2. So LD, he'll move up into P4 right now.
Campbell way up high in turns 3 and 4 as these cars start to widen out the Speed Palace surface. Tons of cars jostling for position. Eyes on the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss as he's picked his way through the field right now.
Zierfoss started 17th in this one. Right now he's up into the 11th. Right now he's in contention to take home an extra $500 courtesy of Ramsey's Car Wash.
Battling with Mike Walter for that 10th spot. Walter not going away, looks at Raymer momentarily in 1 and 2. Zierfoss back down underneath him for position as they battle for a top 10 spot.
So 16 laps to go this time by, and this is how top 10 looks. Danny Dietrich still at the point. Chase Dietz running 2nd. Matt Campbell in 3rd. Lance Deweese running in 4th. Cody Hartlop in 5th. TJ Studd still running in that 6th spot. Aaron Bollinger 7th. Buddy Schweibens 8th. Freddie Raymer 9th. And Brock Zierfoss rounds out the top 10.
Danny Dietrich catching the tail end of the field. Lap traffic is going to start to become a storyline here for your leaders. Dietrich has grown well up close to a 2-second lead over Chase Dietz. And with 14 laps to go, lap traffic's now in the way.
Was able to catch up with Dietrich earlier this afternoon. He is going to be here quite often throughout the 2026 racing season. So you would think if he can hang on for another 14 laps and take home the win, we'll see what happens, but he's going to be the points leader going into next weekend's events.
Now's the time for Chase Dietz to close the gap. He just took a ½ second off of Double D's lead that last time around. Dietrich's going to have 2 lap cars battling for real estate in front of him, and there's no lap cars between him and Chase Dietz, but Dietz can't get by the 11T, so now 1 between him and the 48.
It was 1.3 seconds last time by, and now Dietrich increased it to a 1.5 seconds, still in heavy lap traffic right now. 2 lap cars separate Danny Dietrich and Chase Dietz. No change in your top 5. As Dietrich still negotiating the slower cars with 11 laps to go.
Starting at the top side of 1 and 2, running back down and sliding back up. Seems to be the strategy for at least your top 2 cars, and then working up high as Dietrich through 3 and 4. Dietz is forced to work the middle to try and get by the lapper to keep Danny Dietrich within his sights. The lead back up to 1.6 now for Double D.
Dietrich just hitting his marks. Coming into today's competition, Danny Dietrich has 11 Royal victories in his career. If he can hang on for another 9 laps, he'll get another one, and he will get his 2nd opening day victory. See what he can do. Still negotiating lap traffic. Dietz still trying to track him down.
Matt Campbell not losing too much ground either. He's only a second behind Chase Dietz with no lap car separating them as Dietrich gets by Latimus to put him a lap down. Dietz trying the bottom side in 1 and 2, but Cody Lehman is battling for position right in front of him.
Also, TJ Stutz applying pressure to Cody Hartlow. That is a battle starting to shape up for that 5th spot. Stutz going to the extreme outside here in turn number 4. Goes right to the rear bumper of Hartlow. Now will peek down low in turns number 1 and 2, and he'll make that pass. Hartlow looking to come back under him. They're side by side down the back straightaway.
Stutz with the advantage. Now Dietz, he's by the lapper. No lap cars between him and the 48 of Danny Dietrich. 1.5 seconds between them, but Dietz was faster on that last lap.
Bollinger trying to get by Cody Hartlob as well in the turns number 1 and 2. But you said, Brad, look back up front. No lap cars in between Danny Dietrich and Chase Dietz. 1.4 seconds is the difference.
Yes, Dietz is closing the gap, and there are 2 lap cars in front of Danny Dietrich. Putting one of those cars between him and the 23 of Chase Dietz could play very, very vital as Dietz is reeling him in with 4 to go.
Yeah, Chase Dietz is really got the whip to the horse now. It's down to an even 1 second as Danny Dietrich having a little bit of difficulty with lap traffic. Only about 10 car lengths separate Chase Dietz and Danny Dietrich right now.
Here comes Chase Dietz ripping the top side in turns 3 and 4. 3 laps to go, under a second between them.
Going the turns number 1 and 2. Dietz has a great run as he diamond the corner off at 2. Still is about 10 car lengths. Chase Dietz right there right now. We're going to come to the Twin Sticks, a mile to race.
2 laps to go. Does the lap car play a factor here? Can Chase Dietz close the gap in the last mile? They head down the back straightaway. 1 lap to go this next time by. Can Danny Dietrich hold on?
Dietrich negotiating lap traffic, and Dietz jumped the cushion there off of turn number 4. White flag is out, final time around.
Dietrich up to the top. Dietz has to recover after the mistake. 1 lap car in front of Danny Dietrich, but he's going to take it into turn 3 and 4 for the final time.
The last time Danny Dietrich won opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway came in April of 2024. He's going to do it today in 2026. Danny Dietrich wins at Port Royal over Chase Dietz and Matt Campbell finishing in 3rd.
So Danny Dietrich able to cross the line in first here for the opening race for the JNS Classic PA Posse 410 Sprint Car Series presented by Hoseheads.com. And the opening race for us here at Port Royal Speedway, holding off Chase Dietz and Matt Campbell to open up this 2026 racing season. Dietrich will head to the scales there in turn number 3. You can see him pumping his fist down there on the scales, and he has cleared. So Danny Dietrich is going to head to Kish Bank Victory Lane here this afternoon. $6,000 will go to Dietrich for the win here today. Winning opening day presented by Packers Concessions. So he's parked in victory lane. So we will send it down to Earl Hoon Jr. to get a word with our podium finishers.
Thank you, Brad Strasser. The Weikert's Livestock 48 parks it in Kish Bank victory lane to kick off the 2026 season. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Double D, Danny Dietrich. Dietrich getting congratulations by his crew. Come on over here, buddy. How about it? Your second opening day win in your career here at the Port Royal Speedway, but also the very first winner of the newly formed PA Posse Sprint Car Series.
Yeah, it's pretty special. I mean, you know, it's pretty rough, and I got to give a big old shout out to Dave Reedy for working with my ass on these Penske's, because we dialed them in pretty good, and we were working on things. We know we haven't been good the first part of the year here. We definitely are better than what we're showing capability wise. Just kind of had my head in my butt, you know, the last couple weeks. Not as a driver, just things we were doing, and kind of went back to the drawing board, kind of pulled everything apart, and man, this thing was fast. Thanks to my guys for sticking with me. They all busted my balls about how slow we've been and everything, and got me on a diet this week because, you know, they blamed my weight, and you know, man, it was fun. You know, Port Royal's different here. It's got some diversity in it. You know, it's not perfect by any means. It's opening day. I don't know what more you expect. This place stays colder longer than everywhere else in this area. So to be racing in beginning of March or mid-March here and be getting wins is pretty phenomenal.
You know, we talked earlier in the week, and I said, you must plan on coming up here quite a bit because you guys got some season passes. So obviously I have to pull your ear on this because going into next weekend's competition, you're the points leader right now, buddy.
I don't even care about that right now. You know, all these series want to talk about points and everything. We're here to win, put on a show for you fans. And, you know, when I'm racing in the race car, I don't think about points. I think about winning a race, and I think that's how that should be all the time. So you guys worry about the points. I'm going to worry about trying to win races.
No doubt about it. Final question. As we said, a newly formed, the PA Sprint Cars, the PA Posse Sprint Cars Series here in PA got a lot of money up for grabs for that 2026.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to everyone, all the tracks, all the supporters. It's going to be huge, hopefully. Race number one, you know, and you know, I'm sure they're going to run into hiccups, but I'm you know, the end result is going to be really good, I think. At least we all hope so. So that's what we're all in it for. So we'll be at most of them. I don't know, probably 90-95% of them. So if we can walk away with a nice hefty check at the end of the year, that'd be great.
Congratulations on winning your second opening day feature here at the Speed Palace.
Thank you. I want to say hello to Gary. I'm sure he's watching. He's been on a cruise for the last 8 days, I think, and he's not here. But shout out to Gary. I'm sure he's watching. Weikert's Livestock, York Excavating, SpeedwayCars.com, Big Cove Whitetail, Chris and Mindy, Chris Heiser, those guys really helped me out. Drop of Ink, Packers concessions come on board this year, and appreciate their involvement in all of sprint car racing. And RV four-wheel drive, just so many people that help us out. Like I said, Dave Reedy, this week was a big deal with calling Dave and picking his brain, and it wasn't necessarily just shock. So it was friendship and the rest of the race car too. So thanks to him and these guys behind me here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, winning opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway, brought to you by Packers Concessions, Danny Dietrich. Sandy Klein, we're going to get you on in here so you can pick this afternoon's Warrior Award, brought to you by J&S Classics. Number 7, it's going to be number 7 taking home the $1,000 Warrior Award, brought to you by J&S Classics. Danny, real quick, we're going to have you pull a winning 50-50 ticket. $2,124 will be The prize, winning ticket's going to be a blue ticket. Winning number 719090. Once again, today's winning 50-50 ticket is a blue ticket. Winning number is 719090. If you have the winning 50-50 ticket, you can go claim your prize at the Speedway office. We're going to head down here to speak with the rest of the podium. Finishing second here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Chase Dietz. When he was in lap traffic, you were still really starting to come alive here late in this one.
Yeah, he was honestly really maneuverable. You know, he struggled there at times, and honestly, I did too, just at the wrong time. You know, I was having some trouble just kind of getting off the exit there to get some runs. I was trying to adjust my line enough off of 2 to get there, but just couldn't get there. You know, he was good out front there, and look, another good run for us. We've pretty much been in the top 3 all year so far here in PA. Just glad we could be in position. I felt really good all day. It's just a matter of keeping the momentum rolling, and I feel we're in good shape. So looking forward to running this whole PA series. It's a great start. Obviously, great weather, and to have a lot of fans here to support it is wonderful. So we're going to, I think, as a racing community, just enjoy the weather we've had and hopefully continue to have this weather throughout the April and the coming season. So looking forward to getting back here next week, but we got another one tomorrow, so maybe we can do it then.
Hey, we know you want one spot better, but still, you'll be happy with a runner-up spot. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Chase Dietz finishing second here this afternoon. We'll head on down here to Matt Campbell rounding out the podium. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. How about it, dude? You don't have a lot of experience around here in a 410 sprint cars like some of these other guys, and still, this has to give you a lot of confidence when you're rounding out the podium here on opening day.
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to have a better start. It's the second week in a row now. I didn't get that good of a start when we started on front row, but yeah, this place is challenging, you know, minus some of the track conditions we had to deal with, but that's the early season stuff. It's nobody's fault. They gave us a great track surface here. You know, the top stayed in, the whole feature. You kind of move around a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, last year here was my first time here from 4 years. I ran to Tusky, and I was shocked with how we did then. I don't know, this place, it's cool, man. I was just always around Lincoln growing up, a little closer to home, but definitely excited to get up here more this year.
Hey, buddy, we're looking forward to that. Another fine third-place run. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. You know, just thankful for Red Bull, Reading Auction, Stevie Carr, and Flux Racing, Color Wheel, and LTP, and everybody else helped get this number 10 to the track.
Matt Campbell rounding out the podium here on opening day, brought to you by Packers Concessions here at the Port Royal Speedway.
So thank you, Earl. Your top 3, Danny Dietrich, Chase Dietz, and Matt Campbell. Rounding out your top 5, 4th was Lance DeWeese, and 5th was TJ Stutt. Finishing in 6th was the X of Aaron Bollinger, and in 7th, that Warrior Award winner, was the 95H of Cody Hartlaub. Finishing in 8th was the 35 of Buddy Schweibens, and in 9th was the 3Z of Brock Zierfoss. 10th went to the 51 of Freddie Raymer. 11th was the 39M of Anthony Macri, 12th to 67 of Justin Whittall, who was also the Ramsey's Car Wash Hard Charger for the afternoon, going plus 10. 13th was Troy Wagaman Jr., 14th to 77 of Mike Walter Jr., 15th to 55 of Mike Wagner. 16th was the 69K of Ryan Smith, 17th the 39 of J.J. Loss, 18th the 47K of Cody Lehman, 19th the 91 of Preston Latimus, and then 20th the 11T of Mike Thompson. Jake Kirkland, Mark Smith, Dylan Sisney, and Nash Ely rounded out your field for the Weicker Livestock 410 Sprint Car A main opening day event. And as you can see now, rolling out onto the track, you have your starting lineup for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Model A main event. Here's how they will line up for their feature event. Starting on the pole, out of Middleburg, PA, in the Creekside Auto Sales, Stein Trucking, the Ridge Trans, Woodview Truck and Trailer Sales, car number 0 is Andrew Yoder. And to his outside from Laurel, Maryland, in the Deese Trucking's All About Doors, Divinity Race Engines, Kaiser Manufacturing 05, is Roy Deese Jr. Starting in third out of Winchester, Virginia, in the McFarland's Custom and Paintings and Wall Coverings, Fox Factory, Martin's Plumbing Service, North River Farms 27 is Trevor Feathers. And to his outside from Selinsgrove, PA, in the Nittany Tractor, Strauss Electric, GNR Excavating and Demolition, Gibb Robinson, Septic Service 24 is Dylan Yoder. Starting in fifth out of right here in Port Royal, in the Feathers and Fur MHT Transport, number 23 is Lane Snook. And his outside from Mapleton Depot, PA, in the Barron's Race Engines, Wagner's Excavating, Tin Man Body Shop, D19 is Dylan Stake. Starting in seventh out of Elliotsburg, PA, in the Flickinger's Paws and Claws Grooming Shop, Flickinger's Heating and More, McGowan's Diesel Fast Machine and Tool 15 is Scott Flickinger. An eighth starter out of Indiana, PA, in the Greg Satterley Motorsports, Kaiser Manufacturing, All About Wraps, Classic Inc. 22 is Greg Satterley. Starting ninth from Greencastle, PA, in the Langenfelder Mechanical Contractors, Anthony's Pizza, SKS, Ernie D's Enterprises, St. Mary's Roofing, number 4 is Gary Stuhler. And starting 10th out of Clear Spring, Maryland, in the Red Wing Shoe, GDC, Knowles Fire Protection 21 is Justin Weaver in the 2J. Starting 11th out of Mifflintown, PA, in the C33 is Chris Kasner. And 12th starter from Dover, PA, in the Superior Humsel Barron's Auto Salvage 382 Auto Sales, New Industrial Services, number 1 is Gene Knob. Starting 13th out of Lewistown, PA, in the Amsoil Asher's Chocolate Prosser Power Group, Crawlworks 25Ks, Cody Later. And 14th starter out of York, PA, in the McSherrystown Moose, M&M Painting and Construction, Suburban Bolorama, Stevens Crane Service 24 is Rick Eckert. Starting 15th out of Hampstead, Maryland, in the Sharp Farms We Sell Sporting Goods, Fryco Bosley Towing 21 is Chad Myers. And out of Beavertown, starting 16th, in the Middlesworth Potato Chips, Northeast RV, Selinsgrove Ford Kramer Funeral Home, number 9 is Hayes Mattern. 17th starter, he comes from Landisville, PA. In the York PB Trust, Leisure Lumber Company, Fryco Coleman Farms 121 is Tristan Niederer. And starting 18th on the field, he comes from Lewistown, PA. In the Schmidt's Garage, Lost Creek Tree Service, Rocket Chassis, Penske Racing Shucks 211 will be Jason Schmidt. So those are your 18 cars scheduled to take the green flag in this afternoon's Penske Racing Shocks A main event. $4,000 going to the winner here this afternoon. The one-up sign being shown to the field. 25 laps the distance. Andrew Yoder and Roy Deese Jr. will pace the field as we are ready to take the green for the first super late model race here in 2026 as they fire to life to grip it and rip it here at Port Royal Speedway. It's a great start for the 0 of Andrew Yoder. He'll have the nose advantage going into turn number 1. Trevor Feathers down to the inside. He'll get by Deese Jr. for that second spot. As Deese Jr., he's in a battle for position. There's the 23 of Lane Snook to his inside. First full race with us here in a super late model at Port Royal Speedway in his career. He'll work the inside and have the third spot by a nose as they go down the front straightaway. Tons of cars jostling for position through turns 1 and 2. The 24 of Dylan Yoder. He's to the outside of the D19 of Dylan Stake, just behind Snook and Deese Jr. battling for position. Yoder gets a good run. He'll look to the outside of the 0-5 momentarily for position. Not enough there to make the pass. And here comes the 22 of Greg Satterley now into your picture. He's on the bottom. He just picked 3 cars from the front straightaway to the outside at turn number 2. Move Greg Satterley up into 4th. Satterley battling with Roy Deese Jr. for position. Dylan Yoder trying to find a lane while he battles with the D19 of Dylan Stake. Still a great 3-car battle for position there for a top 5 spot. Satterley, he's working to the inside of Lane Snook now, trying to get into a podium position. We'll get a good run into the entry of turn 3. Snook powering off the top side. He'll hold on to it as it stands. Up front right now, Andrew Yoder, he's your leader. He's built a 8-second lead over Trevor Feathers, but Feathers has been closing that gap slowly here lap after lap. And And you can see it up in front. The 27 of Trevor Feathers, he's on his way. 5 down, 20 to go. Andrew Yoder, your leader, but just a half second between your top two cars. Feathers diving the corner there and got a great run off of turns 1 and 2. They're now nose to tail down the back straightaway. Feathers gonna go to that same strategy off of 3 and 4. Pull alongside the 0 momentarily. Battle for the lead.
19 laps to go. There goes Feathers trying to work the top side of the racetrack. Has the momentum, points it down the hill, draws alongside Andrew Yoder once again. They drag race down into turns number 3 and 4. There goes Trevor Feathers. Can the car stick off of 4? Yes, it does. We got a new leader with 18 laps to go.
Behind them, Greg Satterley is officially taking the 3rd spot away as they cross the line, but the battle for the lead continues. Yoder slid by Feathers. Feathers took it right back past him off of turn 2 and has opened up a huge gap now down the backstretch.
Trevor Feathers has won opening day twice here at the Port Royal Speedway back in 2020 and 2021. Right now, he has a 1.7 second advantage in the 27.
Yeah, the grip, showing how important it is. Yoder tried to slide past Feathers and just got no grip off of turn 2. In just in 1 lap's time, Feathers has been able to open up nearly a 2-second advantage over the 0 of Andrew Yoder. Still, plenty of time in this feature event. We haven't reached the halfway point, and Feathers is going to see the tail end of the field.
You bring up a very good point, Brad, because now Feathers is in dirty air, right? So we're going to have to see how that car handles when he's to the rear of the field, and does that allow Andrew Yoder to close in right now?
It's all about surviving. We talked about it in the heat race, but when you get into this lap traffic and you've got guys bumping and bobbling around and still fighting for position, it gets all the more tricky to hold on to that lead when you're just trying to keep your car intact when you're out in front. Feathers doing a good job of it right now. Satterley trying to close the gap on Andrew Yoder for that runner-up spot. We've got 14 laps to go as Feathers works through lap traffic. Dispatches another one. Satterley, there you see him on your screen. He sits in 3rd and has closed the gap on the 0 of Andrew Yoder, as Yoder now is starting to have to work lap traffic. Feathers has done well getting past another one. He's got 4 cars in between him in 2nd and 3rd place of Andrew Yoder and Greg Satterley. Yoder slid up the track a bit there in turns 1 and 2, getting past the lap car of Niederer. Now here comes Satterley, side by side for the 2nd spot. The open lanes up top for Yoder. He's going to be able to capitalize and keep Satterley at bay. The car's fanning out. Yoder, he's going to have to go through the middle to get past a lapper. That's going to leave Satterley open up top, but the air is dirty. Yoder bides more time.
Good move by Andrew Yoder to put 2 lap cars in between him and Greg Satterley. Lane Snook still runs in that 4th spot. Dylan Stake rounds out the top 5, working on a pretty long green flag run right now. It's still all Trevor Feathers out front.
Satterley trying to pick his way through the lappers. As Yoder in 2nd gets up into the turns 1 and 2 wall. That's going to allow Satterley to have a run here. He'll take the 2nd spot away. As that car in 4th, Lane Snook, you mentioned, he's lost power off turn number 2, and he will draw the caution flag.
Fortunate events for the rookie. Lane Snook was running in 5th and loses power in the 23.
And you know, we've talked about Lane Snook being a rookie. He actually attempted to run Super Late Models with us a year ago. He showed up for opening day for the opening race, and during hot laps, the motor blew, and the Super Late Model season was done. Turned more laps tonight in a Super Late Model, but still looking like an unfortunate end to the opening night.
Yeah, so we can officially say that this is another shot at a rookie season in a Super Late Model here at the Port Royal Speedway. Obviously shows a lot of speed here. No stranger to victory lane here at the Speed Palace, especially in limited late model competition. But right now, Trevor Feathers is out front. He has 4 career victories here at the Speed Palace, putting him 61st on the all-time win list.
So we're looking to just get the field back into correct running order here. Andrew Yoder, he's able to capitalize on that caution flag. Satterley had gotten by him, but because the caution flag came out when it did, the lap wasn't tracked as official, so that sends Satterley back to that third spot. Yoder holds on to the runner-up position for at least another lap. So Delaware double file restarts for the super late model division here at Port Royal Speedway. So Trevor Feathers, he will fire on his own, and then we will go 2 by 2 behind him. We'll see who this plays an advantage for, whether that be Andrew Yoder or Greg Satterley, as they'll start side by side as we'll look to fire in turn 4.
So restart coming with 10 laps to go. Mr. Green is back out. We get back underway with the feature event for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Model. Great restart by Trevor Feathers to take it down a 3 wide. Right behind him, Dylan Stake tried something down low, but now here comes another run by Greg Satterley. Satterley, he's going to go right through the middle as Feathers right there as well. Now Yoder sideways. Here comes the rest of the field. My goodness, we got a big pile up in turn 4. The caution flag is out.
Unfortunate there for a lot of drivers. Andrew Yoder in the 0 just lost the handle. I was just thinking about how we were running 3 distinct lanes between our top 3, but then if one of those guys loses the handle and you got everybody running different lanes, sometimes you run into an issue like this.
So with the track being blocked there in turn 4, we're going to stop the cars on the back straightaway. As I believe, that's 7 cars in the accident there in turn number 4.
So looking at the cars that were involved, of course, Andrew Yoder, you see him heading to the infield pit area. Rick Eckert's in there in the mix. Gary Stuhler is the one sideways backed up against the outside wall. Gene Knobb in there, Dylan Stake, Scott Flickinger, and Jason Schmidt. All tied up in that one. Of course, Andrew Yoder was running second. Dylan Stake was in 4th. Scott Flickinger was 8th. Gary Stuhler 9th. Rick Eckert 10th. Knob 12th. All guys. Jason Schmidt, he was in 13th before that accident.
So here's the replay. Keep an eye on the 0 of Andrew Yoder. Car just gets around on him. Stake had nowhere to go. And here comes the rest of the field. Hard impacts there. As we're going to see who all can possibly drive away right there. Looks like the 15 of Scott Flickinger. He's just going to take it back to the pit area. Gary Stuhler, you see him leaning out of the cockpit there in the 4, surveying damage. Eckert already taken the hood off there in the 24. Jason Schmidt in the 211 and trying to roll that car away from the accident scene. Don't forget, race fans, again, we are right back in action here next weekend with the Weichert's Livestock 410 Sprint Cars. It's going to be another PA Posse Series race. $6,000 is going to be on the line. Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models are also on the card. Racing gets underway at 4 p.m. next Saturday. We kick off the month of April with the Weichert Livestock 410 Sprint Cars, the Penns Valley Meat Market 305 Sprint Cars, and the limited late models also on the card. River Rock Campground, the presenting sponsor of the limited late models throughout the 2026 racing season. Then we have another PA Posse Series event right here on the 11th of April, $6,000 to win. Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models on the card. That's a 6 p.m. start. April 18th is going to be one of our camera and autograph nights, where the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models are going to take center stage here on Saturday of April 18th. Also on the card are the Penns Valley Meat Market 305 sprint cars and the River Rock Campground Limited Late Models. Again, that is camera and autograph night here on the 18th of April. And then, Brad, you mentioned it, a big one. First big showcase event of the year here at the Port Royal Speedway. That's going to be the Keith Kaufman Classic right here on Saturday, April 25th.
Yeah, restored K33, Keith Kaufman going to pace the field in that one. We'll, of course, have autographs and tons of giveaways going on. So that's going to be a huge event. You're going to want to make sure you don't miss it with us here at Port Royal Speedway, the Keith Kaufman Classic.
That's going to be $15,000 to win for the Weckert's Livestock 410 Sprint Car. And also, it's another series race for the PA Posse Sprint Series. And the USAC East Coast Wingless Sprints are on the card for Saturday, April 25th with the Wingless Super Sportsmans. So if you'd like to look at more events that are going to take place here at the Speed Palace, make sure you check out our website at PortRoyalSpeedway.com. Don't forget to go like us on Facebook at Port Royal Speedway Trackside Media and follow us on the X at Port Royal Speedway. And also, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to download the My Race Pass app to follow along all year with live timing and scoring. And they also have fantasy picks up on the My Race Pass up to where you can compete with your friends on a weekly basis with a fantasy draft. Go ahead, Doug. We see that you made your way down to the accident scene in turn 4.
Yeah, I did. Everybody's, they're all good down here. A lot of unhappy people, but, you know, rightfully so. Our 2025 champ here, Rick Eckert, his car was pretty messed up. You know, talking to him a little bit, a little frustrated, but not much they could do. Big pile up here, and everybody sort of understood what the process was. But Dylan Stake, he was out there. He wanted to get back out, so I don't know where he's at right now, but he's going to try to get back out in the field here today.
Thank you, Doug Malott. Also, we like to wish Amanda a happy birthday here this afternoon. She's working inside Packers Concessions Pizza Trailer this afternoon, so happy birthday, Amanda. While the accident scene is still being cleaned up in turn 4, we're going to take another short commercial break here on FloRacing. You are watching opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway, brought to you by Packers Concessions. So welcome back here to the Port Royal Speedway as the caution lights come back on. See if we can give you a replay as to why we went under a brief red flag period with 10 laps to go. Had a multi-car pileup in turn number 4. To where Andrew Yoder got sideways while running up front and unfortunately had nowhere to go.
So getting everybody fired back off. Just need push trucks back to Greg Satterley and Dylan Yoder before we get things back rolling here for the Penske Racing Shock Super Late Models. Ten laps remain in this one. Trevor Feathers, your leader. $4,000 going to the winner of this one here today. Super Late Models will be back in action with us next week as well. Both Satterley and Yoder able to fire back off after getting the shove, so we'll get them to rejoin the field in their correct running order. Yoder able to file back in. Satterley will bide his time here on the front stretch. So a little bit of a different look field once we get them back rolling. The lights are out, so we will go green next time by at the line. Trevor Feathers, two-time opening day winner in his career, looking to add a third to his name. Greg Satterley, 24 career wins with us here at the Speed Palace. We're going to make it 25. 10 laps will decide it. We are back underway in turn number 4. Satterley hangs right with Feathers down the front straightaway, looks to his inside momentarily in 1 and 2. Feathers powers up off the top side, and he'll buy himself some breathing room. Satterley in second, Dylan Yoder third, fourth is Justin Weaver, and then Hayes Mattern behind them, your top 5. Mattern right to the tail of Feathers, or of Justin Weaver in the 2J. Mattern working the top side, he's gonna get a good run. Looking to pick that 4th spot off, side by side, down the back straightaway. Middlesworth potato chip number 9 of Mattern had the nose advantage into the corner. Good entry by Weaver, but good exit by the 9. He'll take the spot away as they head past the line this time. 8 laps remain. Weaver not going away, but Mattern's got the momentum on the top side. Now going to try to reel in the 24 of Dylan Yoder in that 3rd spot. Weaver trying to stay right in tow, but loses some handle through the middle of 3 and 4. That'll make things a little bit more comfortable for Mattern. Dylan Yoder, he's working the bottom side. Mattern works the middle in 1 and 2, able to close the gap for that 3rd spot. Satterley, he's in 2nd, working the top side there as you watch him go off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 1.1 second between him and Trevor Feathers. 6 laps remain. 3 miles around Port Royal Speedway to get the opening day winner's check. Feathers coasting through the middle. Satterley ripping it off the top side, and you can see the 22 of Satterley. He's closed the gap 0.3 of a second. Feathers now will diamond off of 1 and 2. Starts up high, finishes down low, trying to bridge the gap between them. Trying to keep Greg Satterley at bay. 4 laps to go this time by. Can Trevor Feathers hang on for the opening day win? Both cars to the top side in 1 and 2. Feathers decides not to run it down the hill that time. Just trying to make it stick up on the top shelf. will go back up high in turns 3 and 4. Satterley really good in the final 2 corners. 3 laps to go. Greg Satterley, he's cut the gap to 0.6 of a second. Feathers has been stronger in 1 and 2, but Satterley better in 3 and 4. They pass a lap car with ease down the back straightaway, but Feathers was really good off the exit at 2 to try to hold off Greg Satterley. Twin sticks in the air, 2 more times around. Trevor Feathers up top this time. Will Diamond this time down off the corner. 0.9 of a second between them. Lap cars will be a factor in this final lap. White flag is out. 1 more time around. Trevor Feathers, he's your leader. Greg Satterley, can he steal it away? Feathers up high, Satterley down low. Feathers got a lap car between them. Is that enough real estate to hold off? It's just going to be about surviving in 3 and 4. Great run here by Greg Satterley. He takes it down low. It's not going to be enough, and Trevor Feathers will go to victory lane on opening day. Greg Satterley will finish in that 2nd spot, and finishing in 3rd, the 24 of Dylan Yoder. So Trevor Feathers able to survive in that Penske Racing Shock Super Late Model A main event and hold off Greg Satterley for the opening day win. We'll head down to Kish Bank Victory Lane to get a word with Trevor Feathers. So Feathers getting the helmet off, 3rd time in victory lane on opening day here at Port Royal Speedway. In the North River Farm Leggett Engine Research, Kofelt Graphics, McFarland's Custom Painting and Wall Covering, number 27. Gets the neck restraint off, the belts off, as he'll climb out of the car. Let him hear it, your opening day winner, Trevor Feathers. Bring him around to the front of the car. Congratulations on a great run, Trevor. Your 3rd opening day victory here at Port Royal Speedway. Was about surviving there at points, battling with Andrew Yoder, and Greg Satterley was coming there at the end. Did you feel Greg was coming and putting the pressure on in those last few laps?
Yeah, my dad was signaling me. I kind of got out to a little bit of a lead there, and I was just trying to get through the whole square and not rip the nose off or do anything like that. But Dad was telling me he was getting close, so it was time to wick it back up again, and I think we leveled off there, 4 or 5 car lengths, something like that. So
This is the third time we've done this. I hope it's not a bad omen, but the first two we did, we had a terrible year after that. So we got a really good car. I can't thank Fox Factory, Tim Logan, Rocket Chassis. We had a really long off season. We switched cars. This is a completely different motor than what we had. So today was about learning, and winning $4,000 to learn is pretty good.
Well, talk about going through turn one. It proved to be tricky all night long. And watching you in that A main, you took a few different approaches through the first two corners. You were diamond in, running it down the hill. There were sometimes you were sticking it through the middle. How did you approach turn one in particular throughout that A main?
Well, I love running the outside here. So whenever there's a little bit of an outside, I always try to go there. But Andrew was driving off into the corner so hard right through the middle, and he was floating off, and he was losing all of his exit speed. So I figured I would try to get in there, diamond off, and come back to the bottom. And it worked. It worked when he threw the slider on me. I was able to have enough momentum that I could clear him and get back to the line I wanted to in 3 and 4. The one I was worried about was Greg. You know, he's the best at this place. Whenever you see 22 behind you on the scoreboard, you better be running your ass off.
Yeah, I mean, how much, you were getting the signals. You know it was Greg behind you, and how much were you thinking about him in those final few laps?
Yeah, I looked a couple times coming off turn 4 at the scoreboard. So I saw he was up to third, I don't know, maybe lap 10, 12, something like that. And I kind of got into a little bit of a rhythm there just riding when I got by Andrew. When I saw the 22 come up the scoreboard, I figured I better get back on and get to the lap cars. Usually we go green to checkered. It seems like every time I'm leading a race we have cautions, red flags. So it only makes us better. Whenever you can beat the 22, whether he starts in front of you or behind you, you're doing something.
Congratulations on a good run, and hopefully for a strong 2026.
Yeah, we hope so. I got to thank my Uncle Jimmy, McFarland's Custom Painting, Junior Ritter, Ritter's Well Drilling, all the people you see on this car. I'm not very good. I always forget. But ABC Supply, John Caulfield for making it look good, Jeff at Fox Factory, Paul at Rocket Chassis, all these people, they have welcomed us with open arms, and it's been quite amazing. And I got to shout out the 72 team. They did a lot for me last year.
Well, congratulations, Trevor Feathers, on a good run here on opening day.
Thank you.
Trevor Feathers, your winner here today.
Hey.
$4,000 richer. And we'll get we'll go down here and get a word with Dylan Yoder, parked here on the front stretch. A third place finish for him this afternoon. Dylan, congratulations on a good run. I made mention to Trevor, it was about surviving in that feature event, especially, late there towards the end. There was 3 of you running 3 distinct lines before that caution came out. Talk about how this track, how it was challenging and how you were able to find yourself up here on the podium.
It was definitely challenging, had some character to it, but now we don't get to run on that a lot, so it's fun to do that once in a while, but not for the first race. We're a little bit out of shape, but it was still a lot of fun. Just thankfully survived to miss that wreck in turn 4 there, and it was a brand new car and it stayed together, so we're pretty happy.
Well, a brand new car, but a little bit of a throwback scheme from what I've seen. A nice looking car, an impressive run. Congratulations on finishing third. Anybody you'd like to thank?
Miller Racing Engines, Strauss Electric, Robinson Septic, Nittany Tractor, got Durham Engine in, Colby Fryco, and just thank my dad for helping out a lot, and Bill, my mom, my kid, and just everybody else that came out and watched us.
All right, congratulations on a good third place run for Dylan Yoder here this afternoon. So with that, we'll throw it back up top for the final rundown.
Thank you, Brad Strasser. So congratulations once again goes to Trevor Feathers on winning opening day here at the Port Royal Speedway. Finishing second, the 22 of Greg Saturday. Finishing third, the 24 of Dylan Yoder. Finishing fourth, the 9 of Hayes Mattern. Finishing fifth is the 2J of Justin Weaver. Finishing sixth, the 0 of Andrew Yoder. Then you have the D19 of Dylan Stake. Finishing seventh. Finishing eighth, the 25K of Cody Leiter. Chad Myers in the 21, bringing home the 9th position. Rounding out the top 10, you got the 121 of Tristan Niederer. 11th will go to the 211 of Jason Schmidt. 12th, the 15 of Scott Fleckinger. 13th, the 4 of Gary Stuhler. 14th, the 24E of Rick Eckert. 15th, the 1 of Gene Nam. 16th, the 23 of Lane Snook. 17th, the C33 of Chris Kasner. And 18th, the 05 of Roy Deese Jr. That is going to wrap up today's activities here at the Speed Palace for the 2026 Lid Lifter. Once again, on behalf of the Juniata County Ag Society, the Port Royal Speedway promotional team, Brad Strasser, I'm Earl Hoon Jr. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you right back here at the Port Royal Speedway next Saturday.